Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide presentation of the Final Fantasy Randomizer 2025 Summer Marathon. We are here in support of the Liam Foundation all weekend, live from Charlestown, West Virginia. Very excited to get this run going. We got some spiciness going on. Some donation incentives were met, and we're going to be having a lot of go-go and a lot of Umaru around the parties today. And one special incentive for those that are watching now and want to kind of get involved. $50 is a donation cap. Every $50 donated will put a cap on Karan's head, and we got lots of hats to do. So the more money, the better it is, especially for the Liam Foundation. We're very happy to partner with them again and looking forward to a great race here. We're going to pass it off to the runners in just a minute. They'll start explaining some flags, and then we'll drop the gates and get them on out of here. So thank you again for joining us, and we'll be back throughout the afternoon.
All right, thank you for all that. I am Turdsman here with Sawyer in the booth. We're going to be talking about these fine folks running through a slightly modified Moogle Cup seed. How you doing today, Sawyer?
You mean Sigil?
Sigil, sorry. Sawyer is there. I was looking right at his name.
Yeah. I'm doing good. How you doing, Turdsman? I'm excited to see these runners run.
I'm doing good. So this is a Moogle Cup flag set, which is the it's Sigil is on the comms today. My apologies there. So the way that Worlds Collide works is it is a your open world randomizer that allows you to go to any location previous in the game to collect checks, get some power, and oh boy, we got to. I'll get back to that in a second. We have to talk about this opening party. Umaru is a berserker. You guys saw that earlier. Can do a really good job in cutting down a tree, but not necessarily the most reliable person to have on your team. Gogo is a mimic. Gogo has access to a bunch of different types of abilities based on what the other characters in the party have, and unfortunately, the other character in the party is locked with Runic. So Runic absorbs one spell and turns it into MP, and it is not handy to have at the beginning of the game.
But I love Gogo for the Moogle Cup flag set because we have cheap rods. You could have Black use the rod that Gogo mimic in between Umaru's turns.
Yes.
And I believe we saw Experience Egg.
Yes, we did. That is a very handy, probably the most useful item in the entire game. The way that Final Fantasy VI's algorithms are set up, levels are paramount. That is the most important number in the game. So you want as many of those as you can get, as fast as you can get them. So our runners are going to be after 6 characters and 9 espers. Those are the progression in the Worlds Collide randomizer, and they're going to collect that by going to the various little story points in the game. Fighting bosses, sometimes just running through a little dungeon, but we'll see what they have to deal with their cat hoods in the shop early on.
Glue, I'm sorry. Glue and Cheddar, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. The Experience Egg and the Atma weapon hopefully goes on the Yeti.
Yes, the Yeti he is an interesting character. I have grown a lot more attached to him more recently. If he can equip a good weapon, he's a very powerful character. Physical attacks can get really strong. This is a more magic-focused game versus physical offense. But if that Yeti can equip that Atma weapon and you can get him up to level 32, he is going to be a beast.
He's going to be well above level 32 this seed.
That's true. So we have them walking around and picking up some items. Found some fixed dice. That was a handy early game.
Yes. Fixed dice is great because it ignores defense and does its full damage from the back row, but the downside is it has a very wide range of how much damage it could do.
Yes, I believe it is the character's level times the numbers on each dice separately. So a three-eyed snake, I'm not sure what the snake eyes version of the fixed dice would be, will probably not do much more, probably won't even honestly break 100 damage for most of the game.
No, it won't. I learned that the hard way.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Awesome. So we have a donation from Yeehaw McKay, a $10 donation for the bloodstained file name of Ravishing.
Yeah, that's a good one. So, all right. Some additional incentives that have gotten met here is going to the going to the opera and performing in the opera there. It's a fan favorite. Everybody loves it. It's a pretty fun song. Incredible voice samples on the Super Nintendo cartridge.
Yes.
So we're gonna get a chance to see those, and the other ones you're seeing on the screen right now. Starting with Umaru and Gogo, who are, like I said, very situational. They're not necessarily death sentences, but this opening bit they're gonna have to be very careful. If Kurant can take care of this Tyrannosaur, for example, that'll be very handy. Nice big chunk of XP to have right out of the gate.
Yes. And also speaking about incentives, I told the runners for everyone who I'll donate $25 per person.
Yes, we were very careful too. We came up with a whole bunch of stupid little ideas to, reset out, save Sid like 5 or 6 times in one thing. Unfortunately, the contract is airtight. Sigil was very smart in taking care of all of the legalities of it. 1 per runner.
Yes.
All right, we have a little bit of divergence in picking up items. We got Sawyer in the South Figaro basement, grabbing some chests down there, seeing if they can't pick up some decent equipment. We have Kurant going through locks checks. This is a very popular one to do early on. Ooh, that's a tough choice. That Magicite is progression, and there already is an EXP egg floating around, but
Yes.
the only thing better than 1 egg is 2.
Right. But if you get too many eggs, they start to have diminishing returns.
That's true. And you can get that other item. There are a handful of checks that are choices. Maybe just the 2. Am I forgetting one? I know there's Mog falling off the cliff and
Right.
the weapon shop there.
Yes.
I think, those are the only 2. So you can get those other, the other parts of that check in a different spot. With Mog, you have to walk all the way back into the Moogle village in the World of Ruin. For Locke, you have to have access to Terra, and then whatever you didn't pick there will be behind the Whelp check in the Narsh ruins.
Do we have
A lot
time
of,
for a quick donation?
Oh, go for it.
Awesome. We have a $25 donation from Dwaya2077. $25 towards a Quran hat and to make Sigil make a Yeti joke.
Ooh. All right, what you got, man?
I have to think of something.
Okay, that's fair enough. A couple of flash incentives being thrown around in the chat. I will do it for charity, so be careful what you ask for.
Okay, I actually have an
All I'm gonna
update
say
on
about-
that right now if you got a second.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so Gungati throwing a $20 group of bounties out right here. First runner to do so will donate to the runner's choice. Clear Forgotten Continent, $20. Cast Crusader the Esper, $20. Clear Magimaster, $20. Clear Burning House, $20. Or the final hit from Umaro on Final Kefka for $20.
I really like a lot of those. Those are fantastic. The continent that's dependent on if we run into Shadow, and the Burning House is dependent on if we run into Strago, but those are some less enjoyable versions of those types of checks. The Burning House has a lot of random encounters in it, which can be kind of nice, but it takes a minute.
Let's make sure we call them out as we go then, because that'll be a lovely $100 toward 2 hats on Karan's head, and we're already at 35 of the first 50, so another 15 gets the Moogle hat on, and then we can just build from there.
Grant, meanwhile, taking some really aggressive first plays here, going after this blue dragon. Gogo and Lockhart down, so Umaro's just going to have to make it happen.
I have a joke for you, Turtle.
All right, let's go.
Umaro started going to church. Now he's all about isolation and prayer.
Okay. I have a limerick on hand if we get another one of those incentives. So Sawyer heading into checking the Zen Thief. We did see that earlier. This can be another piece of progression. It's either a high tier item or an Esper, but you got to pay for it. And in this case, it is almost the maximum amount of money that could possibly be.
And I believe we saw Sawyer do Save Sid.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
So that is one of those incentives knocked out.
Yes.
All right, we got Dragon Lady K heading to the World of Ruins End to see if maybe a little apocalypse doesn't make this guy lower his prices.
No.
Barely.
Hey, they need money for food.
That's fair.
Yes.
All right, Krog's taking on that dragon again. This is not a bad thing if you can manage it early on. The dragons are worth a lot of experience. They're worth they drop an item. In this case, the blue dragon will drop a scimitar, which is a reasonably okay physical attack weapon that has an instant death proc possible on it.
But you could put on Yeti, I believe, if you could equip it.
Yes. What are the equip options that our runners are going to run into for here? Because normally every character has a pretty specific equipment list, but what's looking at? What are we looking at for that in Moogle Cup?
I thought it was like 33%.
Is it just the standard Ultra League?
Yeah, I think it's. I believe it's a little higher than Ultra League.
Okay, that's not too bad then. So that just means that every character is capable of equipping what they would naturally be able to equip, but they have a 33% chance of being able to use any given item in the game. So that's how you can have an Umaro with the Atma weapon. That's how you can have, a Go-Go with fixed dice or what have you.
Yes. Yeah, equipable equipment's original plus random 33% for relics and equipment. And also our characters start with 100, they start with between 100% to 125% of their stats.
All right, it looks like we got Sawyer heading into the Opera House. We're going to get our first taste at the fantastic performance here by some sort of opera floozy. I don't know what her name is.
Yeah. And DLK picking up a True Knight just in case.
That is a handy item to have. So yeah, if there are any other donations that came in, this is opera is a pretty good time to get them in. So it is technically you do have to press buttons during it, but it's not too difficult. It's a
Yes.
multiple choice with two questions, or two answers, excuse me.
Yeah. And then you just have to just walk.
Yeah. And so while Sawyer takes care of that, we have Dragon Lady heading into the Go-Go's checks, the Zone Eater. So you just gotta run into it, and you gotta let it eat you. Ooh, uh-oh. So it has two moves that it does. It's got Demi and it has Engulf. It has a higher chance of using Engulf than Demi, but with RNG the way it is, this is this is unfortunate.
Yeah.
You guys have a second for a couple quick donations?
Absolutely.
Well, we have $25 from Odron, commentator's choice after they give an Agam effect that they can also be used as an Umaro effect. Gungati with $100. Take my money. Any incentive not met either due to not being found or unlocked goes to the caster's choice. $25 from Sprocket's Dance is Hat Please with a heart. And then hold on, I think I just saw something else come in because the total went up again. I need to double check on that. Let's just briefly hold on, please, and thank you. Sigil with another $100 brings some hats. I believe that actually brings our total to 5. Thank you all for your donations.
That is some rapid fire hats.
Yes, there is.
So while the hats are being collected and placed on the appropriate noggin, we're gonna watch Dragon Lady K run through here. Got through the bridge trolls pretty quickly. Not too much trouble with that, and gonna be dealing with the falling ceiling here. While Karant fights a pretty hard boss while somebody puts a bunch of crap on his head.
Yes. I'm surprised Karant still didn't give Go-Go any commands.
Ooh, kind of got lucky there with Umaro getting smacked. So the mimic command mimics whatever the last thing that happened was, and that includes, as you can see, breaking rods. So very good early game strategy if you wind up with Go-Go right out of the gate is to snap a rod and then just let everybody sit and hang out until you can get rid of the boss. But unfortunately, damage is a little high on this one. So all right, we got a shadow in the Zone Eater there, so we probably go into Floating Continent a little bit later.
We got time for another quick donation, apparently.
Go for it.
Sweet. So we have a $10 donation from Anonymous for Sigil to make jokes more, please, and thank you. And we get another hat with that one.
And there it goes.
Kirby.
he didn't even know it was coming on that one.
What do you call a Yeti with a six-pack?
I mean, yeah, that's...
The abdominal snowman.
Okay. Alright, I like that one. That one's pretty good. I'll go ahead and throw it out there. If we can get another 25, I'll throw out my limerick. So we have Karant heading into Zone Eater as well. Gonna go collect their shadow. Did not reduce the party down to 1, however, so this engulf is gonna take a little bit longer.
And we have DLK doing the opera.
If Demi comes out here, I'm gonna be...
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Well, we have Sawyer going to Figaro Cave.
This is not a bad check to do. You get that free heal from the delicious turtle water up here, and it is a nice quick check with just a little boss.
Yes. And it's a good place to do some grind fights if you need to.
Karant smacked by one of the bridge trolls there.
Yeah.
Gonna get a couple items. Let's see if there's anything good in there. There is not.
Yeah. And now we have now Sawyer's having fun with Chattanooga.
Yep. So this the lady version here is going to be counterattacking any kind of offense that comes her way.
Yeah. But did you know you could just run for the first phase, so Umaro doesn't do any attacks?
That is true. You can do that too. There's a couple bosses where Umaro can kind of cause you some trouble. But if he is running, then he is not swinging.
What comes to mind also?
Yes.
And Karant's being brave without saving.
I was gonna say if you don't get that first chest there, then this falling ceiling section isn't too scary.
Yeah.
You can get away with not having to save, but
most of the time you could get the first 2 chests in one go.
that's true. If you're quick enough, you can get there.
Yes.
There's a small window for being able to snag both, and if you fumble finger a directional input, then you might just end up getting squished.
Where Karan has his shadow now.
So it looks like Sawyer is taking another crack at this Chowdernook boss. Everybody's at level 3. So okay, good.
Yes.
Gonna take a couple grind fights in here. That's not what you want to
No,
see.
that's not.
I don't believe that one gives XP, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think so either. Your mom were throwing a frozen go-go.
I mean, that's something to do.
Yes.
Gogo's just gonna sit there for 90 some odd seconds.
What do you think is going to be on the cave at the belt?
Ooh, I am not sure. Let's see. Okay, well, what would be... I mean, the funniest, I guess, would be a dead check that's like something, not too terribly effective, but...
But...
Strago?
Let's go with Strago.
Yeah, that one's kind of funny.
Yes.
Okay, thank goodness. Got at least something that's going to give some XP here. So I'm not sure if Sawyer picked up the check at the Narsh weapon shop. Ooh, okay. So another bit about Worlds Collide is some of these checks are peekable, which means you can kind of see what you're going to get before you have to really commit to a boss or a big dungeon walk or something like that. And in this case, it is going to be an item, a high-tier item, which is good, but if that was one of the main cast, then you would know you'd get that character from this. Oh! Oh, hey, 3 out of 4 ain't too bad.
Yes.
Gonna want to bring him back for that fire rod crack, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, if there was a Magicite there, then Karant would know that this check would have given him an Esper.
Yeah. And we have DOK now going to save Sid.
Do we have time for another
this
quick
is-
donation?
Yes, please.
Awesome. We have a 25 donation from Theonar saying, loving the energy of the event so far. Let's remove the white mage from the FF1 USA versus Canada match. Let's go.
And the fish is being a troll for DOK.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, look at that. That's not even a great fish. I think that's just a neutral one.
Yeah.
Karant having a lot of trouble with this Doom Gaze. Sandstorm. That's not what you want to see.
Yeah. The Yeti's putting in some work.
He is. We've been seeing a lot of that tonight. The other characters taking a little bit to get their offense going, but Gorilla's gonna gorilla. And a minor benefit, the snow muffler that Umaro comes equipped with does absorb ice damage. So any magic that Doomgaze is gonna throw at him is gonna heal him up.
Yeah. I also believe it halves fire damage also.
Yes. Oh, all right, yeah, Karant is just kind of enjoying the show with the rest of us here.
And Sawyer's Umaru is hanging on by a thread.
Rough. Well, Dragon Lady K still getting this fish. There's another. At least this one's a little faster.
Yes.
Oh, I was not paying attention, so I did not see what ability Shadow came with.
It looked like... Oh. Judging by Go-Go, I don't... It might have been like X-Magic or something.
Hmm. So yeah, Dragon Lady unfortunately running into the problem of no fish. And when that happens, all you got to do is you got to go back and talk to Sid again. It's going to bring his hidden HP value down a little bit, but it will reset the fish.
And Doomgaze 1, Karant 0.
Ah, bummer.
Yeah.
Okay, Karant heading back into World of Ruin Narsh. Probably going to do the climb up there. Maybe go after that dragon again, but definitely go after the Tritok spot and then the Umaro check behind that.
And 2 of our 3 runners have saved Sid now.
Excellent.
He could live peacefully on that island for the rest of his days.
Oh,
it's
health. Okay.
Yeah, health is one of the commands that Goku can add equipped, along with shock
Yes.
and magic tech.
Magitech, yeah. And health is not terrible. It's very much a, you know, it's the very definition of like a C tier ability, right? Like it's not going to change things too much, but if there's a situation where you don't have a whole lot of healing, it is kind of nice to have that in your back pocket.
Yes. What I learned recently, health can be reflected.
Yep. Yeah, it counts as a Cure 2 cast, I believe, but just a different animation.
No. Yeah.
Unfortunately, does not help Go-Go with more things to do. Still stuck with Relic. There's Cure 2, Life 3, and Meteor. Not too shabby for an Esper.
No. And that'll give Go-Go something to do.
Meteor's not the best offensive spell. The animation takes a little while, and it doesn't have a ton of battle power compared to some of the other high-level spells, but it does ignore defense, which is very nice.
Yes.
Now Karant making sure that those dinosaurs are fully extinct.
I don't blame Karant for that one.
No, you need some of those levels. There's not a lot. There's not a lot going on with this particular crew. So getting some levels in, getting a couple spells learned, you're going to need to spend a little bit of time early on in this seed before you'd be able to take anything on.
And DOK is going to be doing her weapon shop check.
Ooh, Ogor and Marshall is spooky. And that is exactly why. A physical attack...
Uh-oh.
Ooh. A physical attack Zombite will turn any character into a zombie if it connects.
Yes.
Which is a sort of confusion. It I think Muddle prioritizes hitting your party with stuff, whereas Zombie will just be fully random.
But I bet Soy's glad to see this fight here, not Kefka's Tower.
Oh, that's true. All right, Sawyer taking care of the problem. And deciding to just shoot for the end here.
Yes.
It looks like we got everybody climbing Mount Narsh here. We'll see how everybody deals with the nasty boss up here in their own way. Dragon Lady K still on level 3.
And she's going to get the unfortunate news that it's a blue dragon.
Yeah.
Can I give a little clarity on a donation we had a little earlier real quick?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Awesome, yep. So Thanar is clarifying they want to force the white mage on the USA versus Canada match,
Ah.
not to take it away.
That is an
because-
important
A
distinction.
very important distinction, especially with some of the people they're going to be playing. So thank you for your donation, Thayanar. And again, we are here this weekend in support of the Liam Foundation, whose mission is to encourage, assist, heal, and empower our LGBTQIA community through respect, advocacy, and passionate hearts to promote thriving in society. A great cause, a great organization. We're very happy to be working with them again, and every donation that we make this weekend goes to them. Thank you so much, and let's continue to watch some great Worlds Collide going on.
Excellent. So we have triple blue dragons up here on the screen.
Yes.
Seeing the power of not being level 3 here.
Yeah.
Dragon Lady K, Umaro not taking big damage from any of the attacks there, but just can't quite get enough damage out to really make it worth the effort. Pop that Moogle Charm on and see what sort of random encounters we got up here.
Better than nothing.
I guess, technically.
Anything to get off level 3.
Yeah. These are some pretty early enemies.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah, we just saw that on Karan's screen, and offering is the reward for taking care of this business.
Generally, offering will let your character attack 4 times in a turn, but the attack does 50% damage. But if, let's say you have fixed dice in VK, they'll do full damage for the 4 attacks.
Yeah, there's a handful of weapons that kind of circumvent the damage reduction you get from... it doesn't call it X-Fight in this one. I mean, I think it does in the item description, but it doesn't change
Yes.
the name of the command. But it is functionally X-Fight.
Yes. And we see on Sawyer's side that the Yeti check is a Magicite Alexander.
Hey, that's a good one.
Yes.
One of the coolest summons in Final Fantasy, period. It's got a big robot with a holy laser. And this boss is not too bad either. Pretty
No.
early boss. Doesn't do a whole lot of fancy stuff. Punch you real good. Comes with a couple bears.
Yes. It's originally on Mount Colts in the vanilla version.
So Kurant, also running into some zombie situation. Tried to use a remedy on Gogo to get rid of the zombie status, but unfortunately it is the only thing that item that works is Revivify.
Yes.
Alright, Dragon Lady K getting some levels under her belt. Got 2 people at 15, 2 at 11. Let's see if she decides to go after that dragon again.
I see her going after that dragon again.
We do know it's worth it.
Yes. Especially with having the Atma weapon.
Alright, meanwhile Sawyer heading into the weird Zone Eater cave here. Ooh, okay, finding Landworm, deciding to warp out of it. That is a very high value random encounter, but can be a bit tricky if you don't have the right setup. Alright, Karant heading in to get his Alexander Esper.
And Sawyer's making his way to get Shadow.
So the other, the big way that a Gogo Umaro start affects your early game is they have a small number of checks available to them. That does mean that you're most likely going to get a character from one or the other, especially with Locke, who doesn't have a ton of checks himself.
Yeah.
But
And the Bridge Guardian got Sawyer.
he's going to get his low-level consumable items down
Yes.
there. Meanwhile, Dragon Lady K taking out that dragon with a pretty good Super Ball
Yes.
usage. It's an interesting item. It has I think it does 256 damage times a random number, I want to say between 1 and 32. I've seen that thing do like 5k on somebody.
Yes,
It's a very, very handy item to have early on.
Yes. It's one of my favorite things in the Moogle Cup.
Oh yeah. Yeah, grabbing a Super Ball or two and going and taking an early dragon is a fantastic early strategy. Looks like Dragon Lady K has a bunch of them. Going to throw some at this fight as well. Do not want those Ogors to start moving.
No.
And like all items, you can mimic them with Go-Go, so you can get as many Super Balls as you can out of one item.
Which is one of the common starting Moogle Cup strategies.
Yes, honestly, kind of turned into a pretty common Ultros League. Still, like the standard ladder that we have, the ladder seasons that we have is Ultros League, and getting a dragon behind you early on is extremely valuable.
Do we have some time for another quick donation?
Please.
So we have a $24.77 donation from Drinks Glue saying, what will fall first? The hats on Karan's head or the $2,000 total so far for the Liam Foundation? With that donation, we sit at $1,999.99. So who's going to be the one to push us over the top? We're very excited to see it. And my money's on the $2,000. Those hats look pretty stable from where I'm sitting over here.
See if I got a penny in my couch here.
I believe if we get another 23 cents, that is another hat. So let's see.
Do you have 23 cents in your couch?
Well, come on now. I'm not made of money. All right, we got Dragon Lady going up against the martial artist and the bears. This opted to put the offering on the fixed dice user. Very, like you said earlier, fixed dice does alleviate the damage reduction you get from X-Fight, but that animation, oh boy, that takes a minute.
Right, but early game is one of the best offenses you could have.
Yes, completely ignores defense and evasion. Like it does however much damage it's going to do.
I could see her transition to Atma weapon after a little while with Locke.
That would be a good strategy. It doesn't look like Umaro has access to many of those big weapons, so we'll see if our runners decide to keep them in their party. We do have additional donation incentives from a couple of people that donated earlier. If Umaro and Gogo stick around to the very end, that's an extra $25 for each runner.
Yes. $25 per one of those characters.
Yes. So potentially 50 for each. And if they manage to have Umaro hit the last hit on Final Kefka, I believe there was a $20 bounty for that as well.
Yeah.
Can confirm that is correct.
All right, Karant's taking care of the opera.
Turnsman, how much would it cost? How much would they need to donate for you to meow the Final Kefka music?
Well, I mean, I guess 1 penny.
One more penny will push us over $2,000 total, yes. But we need 23 more cents for another hat, which, if we got a second here, just came in. M2, $10.01, fixing the total to a nice even 2010, and that will add another hat to Karant over here, everybody. Thank you very much. Liam Foundation is supporting this weekend. Amazing stuff, everyone.
And we have Sawyer doing the Floating Continent play.
Hey, excellent.
The Floating Continent's a good source of experience if the fights are good. And also it has 4 bosses.
Yeah, you can come off the Floating Continent substantially stronger than you went in.
Right. But the issue is, there's a good chance if you do it too early, you get roadblocked.
This is
by
true.
a voice you can't beat.
So very delicately putting the Waluigi hat on there.
Yes. And we have Karant in the Opera House. And we have Dragon Lady K following in Sawyer's footsteps.
I do agree with this. This is definitely the play right here. You get yourself as far ahead in the levels as you possibly can, and probably a character at the end of this.
Yeah.
We saw that there was not one in the either of Shadow's other 2 checks. So unless there is one hanging out in Phoenix Cave, which is entirely possible.
Yes.
This is where the progression is.
Yeah. But I don't know about you, Turdsman. With the lock and go-go start, I'll generally do Phoenix Cave, so I got one character in my party to do go-go's. Check.
Yeah, that's smart. Trying to route in the character-specific, the ones where you actually get to, you have to reset your party at the end of it. Routing in things like the go-go check and also one of Gao's checks requires you to have 3 characters.
Ooh. There's a flying goddess.
Yeah, this is not a pleasant fight to run into here.
No.
Or hardly anywhere, really.
Which one of Goddess's moves is Love Me, which it'll take a normal fight command and have it attack that specific character.
And as we saw there, Umaro somehow body slammed himself. I guess that's just like, jumping as high as you can and just like going totally horizontal and just slamming right into the ground.
I just like to think he's just slamming himself into the floor of the ship.
Right, yeah. Thankfully, we have a Ragnarok instead of an Illumina in this case, so we are not going to be dealing with any throw procs causing trouble. But
you were saying?
Never mind. So we're gonna snap this fire rod, see if that's enough. So I did notice, I believe Dragon Lady K took the offering off because she found a second fixed dice, but unfortunately that is not going to help with this one. We do have Meteor, however, so we just got to keep our caster alive. Maybe keep Umaro on the ground. Oh, nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now Krant is dealing with Sid.
Yes. Sawyer tried using Tritalk on Goddess. Even though Tritalk does fire, ice, and lightning damage, since Goddess absorbs lightning, that's the damage that'll be primary.
Yeah, it factors whichever one is going to be most beneficial to the target as the effect for multi-elemental stuff. Oh my goodness gracious! Okay.
I wonder who rolled this.
Well, actually, I think wasn't it you?
Yes.
Okay. So this is on purpose then. So Magimaster, let's go ahead and do our tight 5 on Magimaster. This, oh boy, this guy. Extremely high evasion, extremely high physical offense. So Umaro's probably not going to be doing a whole lot unless he does some tackles. Thankfully, we've got Super Balls and Fixed Dice, so we might not be in too bad of a shape here. Whoop. See if we can't get that fixed up. Meanwhile, we're going to watch Karant. Looks like Karant successfully saved Sid. He's going to head on out.
I believe DOK might have lost the internet.
Ah, okay.
I'm messaging. I'm on that.
So, all right, we're going to work on getting those streams back up. And in the meantime, we're going to watch Karant deal with this nasty picture here. Yeah, Chatternook coming in with a phantasm again. some suggestions from the chat. Magimaster does, I mean, honestly, I can understand an internet service provider just quitting outright when they see Magimaster. That's completely fair.
Yes, I know, JP. My rolling powers go beyond the game now.
it affects real life. All right, getting a lot of work out of those fixed dice. I think a handful of our runners are going to be very happy that they have those, given the slate of bosses that are coming up. Hopefully, man, you probably wouldn't have that offering on unless you just already had it on for the goddess fight. So that is kind of a bummer, putting it there.
Yeah.
Snipers in that shop, not a bad replacement. So, all right, we got Sawyer climbing. Meanwhile, Karant checking out some of their Espers, doing a little bit of equipment. I believe that Alexander Esper did have Pearl on it, which is rather appropriate. So yeah, Karant going to go check out a freebie check here. Oh, never mind. They're heading to the floating continent as well. Looks like we've got Sawyer dealing with the Kefka Narsh check. So this is a new one, so this is some new information here. Looks like it's Setzer. Hey, that's a good find. Character with a natural ability to equip the fixed dice. So, you know, you can get those off the block and put that Ragnarok in his hands. But also a lot of pretty good checks as well. Lots of really fast ones if you need an Esper but don't need a character, doing the where Doomgaze normally is in the game, doing that can be a really good move. And it looks like we got Dragon Lady K back fighting Atma.
The toilet Atma.
Atma of the toilet.
Yes.
Yeah, this boss normally hangs out in the final dungeon. It's kind of a super boss, I guess. You know, not a whole lot of stuff is obscenely powerful in Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah.
You can really juice your characters up by the end of that game. But the most important thing about that Atma fight is he is hanging out in the bathroom. So hence toilet Atma. Ooh, Siren. That is a good pickup to have. Alright, Dragon Lady K done with the floating continent. Going to jump off Barren Falls here.
So it looks like Sabin was flown the captain 1 check.
Mm-hmm. Which that's not a bad character to find. He's got, you know, pretty good checks. Some of them are a little bit longer than others, but
I think more than pretty good. Because you have Imperial Camp, which is great for early game experience. Collapsing House, which is quick and has 2 mounts in the boxes. A peekable Phantom Train, and Barren Falls. And a lot of them are right next to each other.
they are very good. Yeah, that actually, I keep forgetting about that part where they're all right next to each other. That does help out quite a bit.
And then
Sorry, go ahead.
They also have Mount Colts, which, as long as you don't keep up into the wall, it's a quick check. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was gonna say, like, my assessment of Sabin's checks are very, like, none of them are the top tier, you know? Like, there's always something I would rather have if I had access to all of them. But the fact that he has 5 amazing checks does make him a pretty good find there.
He's probably my number 1 choice if I had to pick someone to start with.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, him and Terra, I think, are the 2 most powerful beginner characters.
The only downside to Sabin, besides not high magic power, is his equipment pool. It's not that good in the vanilla game.
Oh no, yeah, you need to be able, and his vigor is his best stat by a pretty wide margin.
Yes.
So if he can't swing a good sword, then he does kind of flag near the end.
And we have Karan getting his Sabin.
Making a tough choice. That's interesting. I guess Locke does have much better equipment availability here at this point, so that does make sense. And Dragon Lady finding a Thunder Shield, that's another peekable check. You can figure out what your reward is for the Phantom Train before having to do the whole thing. Deciding, I don't need a Thunder Shield. I'd much rather have some time.
And I'm guessing... Oh yeah, Setzer was Kefka Nosh, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, you're right. That is the full 6 characters. We'll see if there's a little bit of divergence here. Sabin, as we mentioned, has 5 checks attached to him, so this can be a pretty wide branch out here.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Yes, please.
So we have a $200 donation from Gungati. Thank you very much. Saying, let's eliminate those black mages and mandate the white mage, and the rest goes to the caster's choice. Oh, and Sid does suck. Hi, Possum. That's 4 more hats.
Lots of big opinions about Sid.
Yes.
I think there's 4 hats left, so that might be the tower. I brought 2 hats. Not Quran hats, but I brought more if we need them.
I like how there are two hat wizards right now.
Yes.
Ooh, Dragon Lady finding Edgar at the
Thank you very much,
Imperial
Big
camp.
Daddy. Really appreciate that.
Yes, thank you very much.
I could see her...
Ooh.
I could possibly see her going straight
Oh, no!
to that.
Sorry, go ahead. I apologize. I was very transfixed by the hat situation.
I could see DLK going to the Edgar checks after this.
You mean the underground ones, or
Yeah.
just going into the castle? Yeah, maybe. I guess I'm trying to think of like what would be better right now, and yeah.
At least the basement one, and then just do the throne room.
Yeah. Yeah, so Edgar's checks are another mildly, I don't know if controversial is the right word, but people are of opinions about them. The throne is nice and easy. Ooh, second experience egg from that middle check there. Throne is nice and easy. You just have to run up to it and get whatever is sitting in the chair there for you. But the other 2 are kind of linked. You have to go through the South Figaro Cave in the World of Ruin, to get back into the underground castle and get that fired back up. But then you have to send it back underground to go find the pathway to the ancient castle, which is
a pretty long walk.
It's a long walk. It would be one of the best checks in the game if you could warp out of it, but alas.
Yeah.
You gotta walk all the way back.
But the good thing about Throne, you can get in the World of Ruin also.
Yes. So yeah, you can really save yourself some time if you wanted to route all three of them together.
Yeah. But I don't see her doing Ancient Castle.
No, I don't at all. I think given the time values that we've got here, I'm not sure if that would play out too good.
Yes.
All right, I'm glad we're getting the zoom in. We got to keep a real close eye on these hats.
I think my favorite hat is the slime.
Oh yeah, slime's
Yeah.
That's one of the best designed things in human history is the Dragon Quest slime.
I know.
Do you mind if I
It's
give
so
a quick
perfect.
update here as to the marathon situation?
Absolutely.
it.
So with that donation from Gungati, that officially puts us at $2,210, which is the new second day highest total in marathon history for first day, actually, not counting the pre-show. So thank you very much, everyone. That's exciting, and it's nice to see that the Tower of Hats is officially taller than Ms. Moon over there, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, excellent job, everyone. Thank you very much.
Yes. And on DOK side, we have the one fight no one likes to see.
Yeah.
Ultros 4. Because after you do a certain amount of damage to Chupon, he blows you away and get no experience.
Is extremely unfortunate. It's unlikely to, wipe your party. You're probably going to survive the fight, but you're not going to get anything out of it either, unfortunately. All right, we have Courant making their way through the floating continent. Going to be done with that, as it looks like Sawyer is going through is that the Phoenix Cave? Is that a vanilla red dragon there?
Yes.
Not a bad call. I'm curious to see what's in there myself, so. Meanwhile, Dragon Lady. Has Dragon Lady gone to this check yet, or is she about to run into everybody's favorite nasty little character, Doomgaze?
She's running into everybody's favorite nasty little character.
Alright.
I thought this was Chad, this check.
Oh, is it?
Yes. I believe this one's Chad.
You're right. So, alright, Courant following his nose through Sabin's checks. Gonna be probably pretty happy to find their next character here.
And DOK showing us what we were talking about before with Tomorrow.
That's the trick. The can't run away thing will prevent Umaro from actually physically attacking. This is not a bad... These aren't bad enemies to run into here either.
No.
Worth a ton of XP. And if you run into them early on even, you can use Revivify or Phoenix Down to just take care of that business. Alright, Sawyer getting to the end of Phoenix Cave and finding an Esper.
Right. So, you have to go through Floating Continent to seed.
Oh, you're right, yeah.
Yes.
That's required, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, good thing everybody's done it already.
No, Sawyer wiped.
Oh, you're right. Well, wait. No, you're right.
Sawyer
There's-
wiped Goddess earlier.
That is unfortunate. Yeah, there's sets. Well, maybe something is in the what you call it?
Bismarck was Daryl's tomb.
Oh, I missed that. That stinks.
Yes.
So yeah, floating continent is required. Which means that so in the green room before we started here, Sigil made the hilarious joke of, "Boy, wouldn't it be funny if this was gated Elite River Magimaster. Maybe 5% less terrible than that is a Floating Continent Magimaster being the gate, because that, and on the second fight at that. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can't bring up a couple of individual streams here to check out how we're doing on trackers. Well, we got Courant heading into the heading in onto the train. Probably also going to just dip back out once once he sees that it is a Thunder Shield. A good item, but not at all what we need right now.
Yeah. And speaking about people's progression, DOK is at 6 and 7.
Okay, yeah, that's not too bad. Two more espers for it.
Yes.
We'll see what this one is.
Yeah. Sawyer's at 5, 6.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they're gonna have to go through that thing.
Yes.
And then Courant is in-house, so
Yes.
not streaming right now. Alright, Dragon Lady heading through the collapsing house. We did see a imp sprite holding the house up earlier on, so we know it's not a character. We'll hope it's an Esper. It's like I don't believe anybody has taken the expensive Zen Thief
No.
check just yet, so this could be Kefka unlock for Dragon Lady K here coming up soon. Oh, thank you, Jack. Crusader from the Shady Cellar. Okay, so somebody has picked that up already. Ooh, a Valiant Knife. A good item, possibly my favorite weapon in the entire game, but not progression.
Sir, Seri-san is correct in chat. DOK got that's the earlier.
Okay. All right, Sawyer heading up through the floating continent. Really high levels, lots of offense for Sawyer here. So maybe we'll be able to sneak through these two nasty bosses a bit faster than everybody else to make up a little bit of time. Ooh, Courant meanwhile getting Phoenix at the end of the Barren Falls jump.
Yeah.
Not a bad get.
Yeah. One of the perks of having Edgar and your lead in your party is in the World of Ruin South Figaro, everything will be half off. Along with Figaro Castle's World of Balance and World of Ruin.
Yes, that can be a great way of getting some expensive items on the cheap. All right, looks like, yeah, you were right. Dragon Lady K heading into the Figaro Cave here.
And since in this flag set, everything sells for half of their normal price, you're pretty much getting the item for free.
Mm-hmm. Whoa. Windows 10 took over my entire screen there real quick to let me know that Windows 11 is coming. I'm aware.
And Karat just picked up the very expensive Crusader, and he's gonna get his Valiant Knife soon.
Meanwhile, Dragon Lady K seeing that Mog is the reward for going through this. Go ahead and go through it. I do agree with this mostly. The amount of checks available is dwindling.
Yeah, because right now DOK either has this or Kefka Nosh.
Yeah. Which is another character, as we know,
Yes.
so.
And the special thing about VK is it has 2 damage formulas. The normal 5 command one, and then it does also does damage based on your current HP compared to your max.
Yes, so however much damage that character has is added on to the damage total, and that is after all of the other calculations too. So that's the piece that is, I believe that's the piece that's not affected by offering, or is it the whole thing?
No, it's
okay.
It's the HP portion.
Plus it ignores defense, which is easily the most powerful ability for a weapon to have in this game.
Yes. And if they have a True Knight, if they have someone equipped with True Knight, they could just have Yamaru block for them when they get low on HP.
That's true. So we saw Sawyer employ the single most satisfying strategy in the entire game. Magimaster is weak to Berserk. So if you happen to have that spell when you run into him, you can just cast Berserk before doing anything else. He will not get a chance to use his wall change, which means he's vulnerable to everything, not weak to anything, but vulnerable to everything, and will just swing at you for barely any damage.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
GP rain. Sorry?
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Yes.
Oh, go for it.
So we have a $40 donation from Taco Mage. Greetings from the FF6WC community. Go fast, skip chess, and leave Yeti on the airship. Donation goes toward Karan's choice. Also, hat.
We do get another hat. That's great. There is a civil war being fought in the Worlds Collide community over whether or not Umaro is good, or if he is there to fly an airship. And in this case,
there's only one right answer.
there is, but people disagree on what that answer is.
The right answer is he's the best character in the game.
There you go. We love him. Huge vigor. He comes with that snow muffler. So even if you don't want to use Umaro, if you don't have good equipment for him, he's got a fantastic jacket, a real fly jacket for somebody else to put on.
And since you can't control him, you don't have to spend time selecting an action.
Yeah, you're not wearing your thumb muscles out.
Yes. Or your control about it.
Exactly. He's saving you money. So we have Karant heading into the auction house to try to get an Esper. Did not successfully do that on this one, but they are going to be collecting the expensive item here. So the way that the auction house works is a little... It's one of those things where it's complicated until it clicks, right?
Yes.
Like there's... Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
You generally need 80k overall to get everything in the auction house.
Yeah, that's the good value to have. So there are two checks in the auction house. I believe with the Moogle Cup flag set, one of them is potentially an Esper, which it looks like we're seeing here on the screen. But there is also a $50,000 item in there, which in the vanilla game was a hero ring. If you take that item, since the item that the auction house offers you is random, if you take the $50,000 one, it makes it much more likely for the two potential checks to come up in the next time you go in there.
And it looks like...
Oh, there's two in there. All right. So yeah, Karant going for it. I mean, this makes sense. If you've got the levels, you might as well go for it.
Yes. The worst part is if you get the imp boy.
Yes, yeah. If you have to deal with the imp robot, that is a huge pain in the butt.
And we have DLK letting Realm drop off the cliff. While she's going to be picking up her Setzer.
So yeah, struggling a little bit to find that last piece of progression.
But I believe this will put her around 19 checks after this.
Oh, that's true. Coming up pretty close on the skip.
Yes.
which I guess we can explain that when and if it comes up. But it is a very handy way to save some time if you've been getting unlucky with some of the checks.
I'm sure she's going to go for skip.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you can, it's worth your time almost every single time.
Yes.
Tends to save around 5 to 7 or 8 minutes, depending on what the boss that you're skipping is. Ooh, we got an Edgar holding that Minerva. That is not too shabby. Minerva has a lot of damage immunities attached to it, so...
Yes, I think just about every element.
I think so. I want to say there's 2 that it just halves. I think it's like... Is it Holy? No, it makes you immune to Holy. Maybe it's like Wind or something weird.
Quake?
Probably Quake, yeah. Alright, we got Karant heading up, and looks like they're fighting a dragon.
While we have DOK doing Search the Skies.
A very good idea.
Yes.
I like. Yeah, this is why I like how she picked up that Setzer. This is a very quick check. You just get it right from the menu when you go onto the airship, and you fight a boss and you get an item or an Esper. No character possible.
Even though Setzer has 3 checks, they're all really quick.
Yes. He's a good character to find as like your 6th one, to me. Like if I find him late game and I need 1 or 2 little things, I'm always happy to see him.
Same here.
And there is the Esper. So that puts DLK as, I believe, our first one to get unlock. Let's see if she just heads right on in there. Oh, uh-oh.
Oh.
She's done this already.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you how many times I've messed this up, where I think, like, okay, I'm going to go spend some money before I go into the final battle, and then I walk into Zen, and it's like, oh yeah, no, this house is falling down. You got to deal with that, buddy. Ooh, buying an economizer. Very nice. We did see ultimates floating around, so that economizer is going to be very handy. Oh wait, no. Moogle Cup has the regular regular price.
Yes, it's like about 84.
Yeah, that's not too shabby.
Yeah.
But hey, might as well.
Yeah. It just might be a habit from Ultras League.
Alright, Sawyer is going to be grabbing a Valiant Knife here.
Well, DOK is probably going to be doing middle lane for skip.
Yep, looks like it.
And Worlds Collide, if we're entering Kefka's Tower with 20 checks, and we have a 22 check skip, we'll normally go down the middle lane for the Toilet Atmosphere and the Middle Dragon, because they both count as checks.
Yes, so that'll get you what you need, and then you just Warp Stone out, and you can skip the rest of the dungeon. Plus, you get a boatload of experience for your main party doing that.
The only downside of using skip is if there's a boss you can't beat in one of the lanes, because then you have to warp out, and that uses up your skip.
Thankfully, we have seen a lot of the real run enders.
Yes.
You know, we're not going to have to deal with Doomgaze. We're not going to have to deal with Magi Master, etc. All right. Instead of Toilet Atma, it's regular Atma. Oh, looks like Karant is taking the same tack here. Looks like he's just running through regular, though. He's got Edgar and Sabin by themselves. Ooh, uh-oh. Hey, he missed. Oops. I will be back in 1 second. Please pardon me.
We have DLK make our way to the middle dragon.
Sorry about that. Had to stop a critter from eating something made out of plastic. I have enough microplastic in my body. I don't need the cat to deal with that too. All right, Dragon Lady K taking care of the 2 checks. Going to be probably warping out and heading into the statues. We're approaching the final stretch here.
Yes. While Sawyer finished the Opera Dragon.
I missed what the reward was for that, unfortunately.
For the Opera Dragon?
Yeah.
Ragnarok.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Yes.
There's a handful of Genji gloves floating around. It's not too bad.
Tournament, it's amazing how well the hats are playing.
For real, they're really cooperating.
I wish I had hats like that.
I know.
And we have Sawyer doing the auction house.
This does make sense. The only real negative to the auction house is the same as a lot of other free checks where you're not going to be getting any levels out of it. But all of our runners are plenty strong. We just saw Dragon Lady K's status screen there, and we got a level 55 block. That is not terribly common in a Worlds Collide seed.
No.
So this is going to be a real fun time once we get to the final boss here.
It's like with these levels, I won't be worried about how I set up my group.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the backup characters are like level 30 and 40. Alright, Karant making the trip. Let's see if Sawyer gets lucky. Hey, alright. 2 ain't bad, honestly. Okay, now it's time to see what we've got in the statue slots here. DLK taking the left lane first to figure out what is on this statue. Flame Eater. Really not a problem. You know, especially with Ultima.
Yes.
I mean, really nothing is, but...
No. Everything's weak to blue bubbles.
Yep. Yeah, Mog with Blitz and Sabin with GP Rain. So that doesn't, help too much, obviously. You've got your party set up, but that at the very least does give Gogo some more utility options.
And we have Sawyer doing the middle lane strat for Skip.
It's not a bad call.
No.
It's roughly the same amount of time, I would say.
Yes.
About 5 minutes or so, again, depending on what sort of bosses you run into. So it's nice to do it this way instead of taking all the time running up, where you're essentially going to be using the exact same amount of time, but with this way you're going to be getting, another, sometimes upwards of 5 or 6 levels.
Yes.
Ugh.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay.
Our favorite boss. The Piranha.
Oh, man.
I believe the Piranhas can take anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds to 55 seconds.
Yeah, I want to say it's 5 to 55. It's something like that.
Yes.
It's a random amount of time between the start of the fight, and this is like real time too. So hanging out in your
Yes.
menu does not count.
There's-
And when that timer finishes up, that's when the actual boss, Rizzopass, comes out. It can only be a maximum of 55 seconds, but I swear to God, it feels like it's an eternity every single time they show up.
And sometimes it feels like, to me, like the timer pauses if you kill them too quickly.
Right? Yeah. Like, oh, hold on, let me just get this set up.
It's like, wait, they killed too quickly.
All right, there we go. Now we got the business fish. Yes, I am kind of curious. Are there more hats available?
We will find something.
We'll find a way.
So if you want them to find another hat for the tower, donate another $50.
Hey, there we go. Some people doing the real work in the background, making
Yes.
sure. Oh, shoot. Poltergeist. Oh, well, then blink and you miss it. I guess that
Yeah.
was the
The last,
the boss there in the middle.
yep. There was potentially a tough boss there.
Yeah, thankfully, Atma Weapon is another one of those weapons that ignores defense,
Yeah.
of which Poltergeist has a bunch, so... Atma Weapon offering, taking care of that business right quick. Probably not going to run into any real issues. There might be some goof 'em ups that happen in the final the actual final battle, but not likely. Not likely to cause a reset, for example.
And we have Karant now playing with the fish,
Yucky.
which, because Karant's staying in the menu, it's just going to delay the fight longer.
Yeah, that can be something that you don't necessarily think of at the start. That because it's weight tricking, I think is the term, is a very popular thing to do with Worlds Collide, where you hang out in the menu to make sure that the enemy isn't getting more of their ATB back when you don't want them to.
Right.
But in this case, you want them to hurry up.
Yeah. It's a way for us to gain the advantage of turns compared to them.
Yes.
And we have Sawyer entering the tower via skip. And they get to date with Flame Eater.
It looks like Ice 2 showed up at some point. Throwing that out there. Does decent damage, but...
And with this, I believe DLK is going to be heading
Yeah.
right to Final Kafka.
There we go.
In the Worlds Collide community, we like to play a game of guessing how long it would take the first runner to beat Final Kafka.
Yes. I'm putting this one at pretty quick. I'm gonna say 7:30.
I'm going 7:15.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yes.
This could go really quick. Lots of single target damage, I think. There is an ultimate floating around in there, but the single target damage is really handy, especially for controlling which pieces go first, because there are a lot of goofy counterattacks and death counters and other sort of nonsense in this one.
We have a guess of A12 by Shenigan, with something bad will happen.
Ooh.
Maybe one of our people gets zombied.
We have a guess of 905 from Odrune. Something
Okay.
very bad will happen. So all right, so you've
Yeah.
got this
And-
this first. You wanna talk about tier 1 for us?
Sure. In tier 1, we have 3 targets. Long arm, which is weak to instant death, like Doom and Break, or tools like Air Anchor. And for head is weak to fire, and its death counter is Quake. It has the ability to switch your rolls on you guys, and cast Dread, which has a chance to cast Stone on your people. And short arm just hits you. Its death count is just one big hit.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, in general, you want to save that one for last because the other
Yes.
counterattacks are much nastier.
Unless you have float.
Yeah, if you have float, you really kind of don't have to care.
Yes.
And so yeah, having multiple Esper casts is pretty handy for this one, especially going up into tier 2 here, which has 4 targets. There is going to be this weird little face showing up here. That's Tiger. That one is kind of the most normal one. Once it gets down to lower HP, it will start using a zombie attack, which can be a huge problem. If a character is dead, zombified, or petrified in between these boss transitions, they are just straight up gone, and the next person on the list is slotted in. So that would be the thing that would go really wrong in this fight, is if somehow a character gets petrified or zombied immediately before a transition, and DLK doesn't have a chance to heal them.
Right. And I'd like to thank Neo Matamune for raiding us.
Oh yeah, welcome in. So the other 3 targets here, there is the middle bit, which is called Tools, and we saw a Doom cast on that one. That piece is weak to instant death. A good way to get rid of that. And we also saw a Siren cast, which causes mute to all the enemies. So the dude with no shirt in the back is Magic, which, hilariously enough, Magic is not immune to mute. So firing that off as quick as possible really negates a lot of the trouble here. And the purple fella in the front is hit. And that is exactly what it says on the tin. He hits you. Not even really very hard, honestly. So good one to save for the end.
Do we have time for a quick donation here?
Yes, please.
All right, so we have a $150 donation from M2 donating to the Wind Sword, because that's the real sword everybody wants to say and wants to see. Wind strats will blow you away. 3 more hats on top of Karan's head. $2,400 total so far, everybody. Thank you so much for your generosity.
Hey! I like the ingenuity here.
So do I.
Beautiful.
Can we say the hats are the real winner in this race?
I mean, yeah, I think that's pretty clear.
That's very true. The real winner are the friends we make along the way, but the hats are the real
The hats we
winners
make
today.
along the way.
Yes. And Soy's having a little trouble with Poltergeist.
Might have to fiddle with their equipment a little bit. I know that there are the tools to deal with this, so Sawyer's probably just going to have to muck around with their gear to get through this kind of tougher boss. So meanwhile, DLK heading up to Tier 3. This is easily the scariest one for my money. So you got the only two targets. The bust in the back, that is, I want to say, that's Sleep? No, that's Lady.
That lady.
It will
AKA
cast, yeah. It'll cast Whirlwind. It has a maximum of 9,999 HP, which doesn't sound that bad, but it absorbs all elements, so you have to hit it with non-elemental damage. And if you defeat the other one first, it will cast Life 2 on it. So, you know, you'd think that wouldn't really be too big of a deal, but the target in front, when it is defeated, will use an ability called Calmness, which is a weird sort of technically physical attack. That's why you see Golem come out here. That will protect our party from those calmness counters at the end. What it does is it just sets whoever it hits HP to 0. It does not count as an instant death attack in terms of being protected against through accessories. So the only way that you can resist a calmness is to not get hit by it.
Yeah, so accessories like safety bit and the memento ring, which protects against magical instant death, wouldn't work on it.
Sadly, no.
And we have Karan facing Dada, and Sawyer's facing the end of the fishes.
So yeah, they're not too far behind. They haven't quite gotten to the final boss itself yet, but we have DLK heading up into the final Kefka fight here.
Yeah, Kefka comes down in all his majestic glory. If you don't do about 30k damage to Kefka in like 5 or 6 seconds, it'll cast Fallen One, which will bring all your HP down to 1.
Coming in for the high five. So
Yeah.
I'm afraid you're going to have to take charge in this one because I'm about to do some...
And after you do 30k damage, you'll start countering with... So, because Garner, when Garner's charging, Kefka won't counterattack, like you see right now.
We're having requests from the live audience here to get someone to clip that. If there anybody in chat who has the ability, because that was amazing.
I was doing my best. I don't have the game audio there, so I was trying to keep it.
Janigan,
timed out.
I knew I could count on you.
All right, beautiful.
Garner
That's happened
with
twice now, so it's
Yeah.
officially a running gag, which means this is going to haunt me for the next 10 years of my life.
No, it's gonna haunt you the rest of your life.
All right, 10 years, that's very optimistic of you.
No, it's gonna be on 10 years.
Well after I'm dead.
No,
All of
like
my
100
ancestors will do it.
No, like 100 years.
One of the few things that the aliens find of our civilization. And crap, cow! Dragon Lady K taking care of all the business here.
And
GG's. Just shy of 132. I want to say it was 131.20.
Yeah.
Was just about it.
Yeah.
Pretty good time considering how this was a rough one.
No, she came in with the time of 131.14.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, rough seed, not a lot of easy power early on. Gogo and Umaro, like we said at the start, they're slot fillers type characters, right? They're not necessarily bad, but if they're the only options you have, then you're really going to be struggling early on until you can get your party biffed up a little bit extra. So meanwhile, we got Karant going through Tier 1. Sawyer's not too far behind.
Do you want to bring DLK in for an interview?
Yeah, sure, if she's interested.
If someone wants to DM her and just tell her to unmute, we can.
Yeah,
I guess
no.
she's just chilling in here with us already.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not doing that.
Meanwhile, Sawyer taking care of Daddy Luma there.
GG's DLK.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job dealing with a really rough seed. So, how did you feel about the beginning portion? 'Cause that seemed like it was That was a struggle for everybody. So how did you feel about that opening salvo?
Honestly, it was more of just trying to formulate what I was planning to do. Like, being that I found those fixed dice pretty early, I was like, oh, well, okay, maybe somebody can do that. And then I'm noticing the only person that can use them is Locke, and the only person that can use this other thing is Locke. And then by the time that I found other characters, Shadow and Locke were so high leveled, there was just no point in switching them out. So that beginning was kind of... That dragon was not nice to me, so I had to take a couple of grind fights before the dragon.
It did seem to work out for you, though. You had once you got those levels under your belt, it was pretty smooth sailing.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was kind of full tilt.
So I guess run us through a little bit your routing in this one. There was not a whole lot of options in the start, obviously. So what was your thought process about figuring out what you were going to run into?
Well, being that I knew what I had, I knew that there was the free check at GoGo, obviously, and so I was really trying to just decide, okay, first of all, when am I going to do... Sid, when am I going to do the auction house? I'm like, well, let me go ahead and try to get some running around to do. And then before I actually start my fighting, I'll go run and do those real quick. And, of course, that's what I did. And then after that, I was like, okay, so I had Super Balls. I knew I could take a dragon. Generally, if it's not the blue dragon, I can usually take it at level 3. But apparently the blue dragon had better plans. So...
Yeah.
After I got everything, I was like, okay, so what I'm gonna have to do is go ahead and go to Narsh. Those are all 3 together. There's a dragon there. All those checks. I think I can really manage it. And so that's what I went to do. And I tried that one fight going through town because I'm like, oh, maybe I'll snag a level or 2 while I'm walking around here getting Locke's checks. And of course, that was met with an ugly group. So I was like, okay, all right, I see what I have to do.
Do we have time for a couple quick last-minute donations here?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. We have $75 from Gungati saying, Umaro is not a slot filler. Umaro is our king. He never lets the snow muffler in. Umaro is our king. Here is my $75 for the first half for taking our king through his adventures. And, thank you very much, Gungati, we have a $25 donation from Axel Ryman. Put my money toward the bloodstained file name being Byman Selmont. Good luck to Tony Ortiz and Yeehaw on the run, and shout outs to the ROTN racing community peeps. Thank you both so very much.
That's a very good name.
We grabbed another 10 stacks of cups in case anybody was still wondering about the hats too.
I saw somebody walking up with more cups and you just shrugged.
This is absolutely a hat record, I can tell you that much. We'll count when we're done to give you the true number, but it's quite amazing. Thank you, everybody, for your generosity.
I mean, the hats are the main event, really.
Well, that's why they're getting the focus. I'm sure there's somebody under the hats, but that's not really important right now.
I mean, just the hat stand, really. So where were the sleeping bags? Did anybody actually find sleeping bags?
Shoot, did anybody find any sleeping bags?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. There was a lot. There was a lot of turtle water drank in this in this seed for sure.
Oh, I believe it. I was like, okay, let's think of all the places that I can heal myself if I need to. And of course, closer to the end, I didn't need to. Everything just died.
Yes. How did you feel about that floating continent?
Oh man, okay,
yeah.
So when I got Goddess, I was like, great, and I swing, and she immediately left tokens. I'm like, well, that's a poor Yeti. Should have put that offering on after all. It was, and of course, I got the Yeti up and threw the dice, and she went down. I'm like, well, alright. And then Magimaster, I'm like, well, at least I have what I need to deal with this.
So
it was kind of gross. I had to think about it. I was like, man, if anybody else came to this any earlier and didn't have this, ooh, no thank you.
Yeah, especially since it was required. Like,
yes.
There was, I think there was an Esper in the Phoenix Cave.
Yes, and Esper at Daryl's tomb.
Yep. So you're going to the floating continent, and you are dealing with that nonsense no matter what.
Yes.
Oh yeah, well that makes me feel better about my route then, because like once I got to some of the stuff, I was like, maybe I should check here, maybe I should check there, but I just kind of went what felt right and what I thought would be faster, so.
Yeah, see, it worked out for you pretty good.
I mean, it must have.
Yes. And we have Karan and Sawyer on tier 2 respectively.
Oh nice, they're neck and neck.
Yeah, this is pretty. We talk about this a lot during the community streams, but this is my favorite part of Worlds Collide. Is for some reason, no matter how it looks at minute 20, it's gonna come down to like 5 minutes at the end. It's insane. Like, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, with Sawyer just pulled ahead, it's going to tier 3.
Yeah, and Courant looked like Courant had a lead on him for most of it, but yeah, now Courant's right there. Like a perfect example of that, Dragon Lady K, you took a little while to get off of level 3, and I was curious if that was going to translate into a time loss for the whole game, but you managed to get those levels in, get a good head of steam behind you, and really charge forward, so that like not doing great at a specific moment in any of these seeds is not necessarily a death sentence, right? Like, you can always make that up somewhere else.
Yeah. And we have.
Well, it was also making that decision on what my calmness protection was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I see that Sawyer's got Fenrir. Like, I chose Golem because I was like, okay, I don't have to worry about spells that way. You know, like with Fenrir because of the Mirage. You know, you're susceptible, basically, you're going to get hit by whatever spells are taken, whereas with Golem, it's not quite the same.
No, that's Phantom we're talking about.
Well, that's true.
That's Vanish.
Yeah,
Vanish.
That's Vanish.
No.
Golem does have the added benefit, since Tier 3 does have a physical attack. Golem has the added benefit of not just having a chance to go away if it manages to get a swing off before you kill it. So I personally like Golem a lot more than Fenrir. If I have both, I try to use Fenrir earlier on. I think Golem is a little more consistent. We got Sawyer heading up into the final battle.
And Karant is in phase 2 of tier 3.
Yeah, definitely going to take care of it with this this VK swing.
And right now the Yeti's living its dream with all 3 runners.
Yep, Go Numaro going straight to the end on all 3 screens here. You love to see it. All right, I have to save my singing voice for the rest of the night, but and I don't want to do that to you people twice. You've all been very, very sweet and nice, and donated lots of money to a fantastic charity. I won't make you listen to me meow the final boss theme again.
But I want you to do an encore.
Open your wallets, maybe. No.
What, private showing?
Whoa!
Is that how that's gonna work? Nice.
That was
a quick one.
I didn't even notice Sawyer input a command, and Kefka is already down. GG's very close race between 2 and 3 here.
Fantastic.
Who finished with the time of 1:41.15.
And Courant is not far behind, doing big gobs of damage with all their characters. I guess another question that I'm always curious about is, do you have a preference of physical or magic offense? Like, is there one that you'd much rather see?
Honestly, for me, it's kind of a balance of both. I can work with either one. Obviously, physical offense is a lot faster. I mean, swinging a sword is going to go a lot faster than the actual animations for a sword. I mean, the dice were kind of slow, but when you're looking at an Atma weapon, a Ragnarok, I mean, unless the spells pop, they're really, really quick. So if I'm looking at time constraints, worried about my time, offense in terms of melee is a million times better.
Yes. GG Sawyer.
Has he undeafened himself?
GG's.
Oh, yay! There we go.
Yay, GG Sawyer!
And
Good job.
What was going through your mind at the beginning of the seed?
Make people pay money.
Yeah.
Boy, howdy.
And I, Lock was cool, so I did that check. And I was like, well, I'm already here in World of Ruin. Let's go save Sid. And then I first tried that. That was pretty cool.
Yes.
And then Opera House right after that. And I was like,
And the hard speed final Kafka.
Thank goodness.
Yes.
GG's.
And we'll see if we
Okay,
can get a final hat
seriously, your
count here.
tier 4 was just disgusting, Sawyer.
I missed it.
Holy cow.
I looked over at Karan's screen for like 5 seconds and looked back and it was dark. It's like, whoa!
Oh, I was having fun with the seed at that point because like the first 4 checks or 5 checks I did, I had to reset out of and go do other things. So I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna get levels, and I knew I was gonna keep Umaro and Go-Go. So I was like, I need to get levels on Locke and Shadow to overcome their deficiencies.
Hello, everyone.
GG.
GG.
Hey, GG's.
Thank you.
Very nice.
How many hats did I end up having on my head? I brought 11, and they added. Yep.
Yeah, there was also the crown, and I want to say 4 plastic cups.
Okay.
I think more than 4 plastic cups.
The hats were the true winners.
I don't know.
today.
They all came spilling off my head as I picked up my phone to done. So. So I'm trying to reconstitute it as we speak.
Yes.
That's dedication.
Yeah. Well.
So
Hey.
am I ban rolling seeds for you guys?
Oh, never.
No, actually, truthfully, this one was not as bad as it could have been. Like, once you got started, it got so much better.
Yep. Absolutely. You had to get going. And I
Yes.
assume I took the longest to get going. Oh, there it is. Sorry, trying to find hats. But GG's, y'all. So,
Thank you guys for an amazing race.
How were y'all's experiences?
I mean,
Okay.
mine obviously wasn't horrendous, except for the Blue Dragon trying to give me a little bit of trouble there in the beginning.
Yeah.
The Blue Dragon gave all of you trouble.
Yep. I would say my seed was very hat-tacular.
We have a lot of fantastic angles to this as well.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
If people want to check out the Final Fantasy Randomizer Discord.
I would definitely like to see the pictures because I will say the only bad thing about being a part of a seed like this and an experience like this is when you hear everybody behind you laughing and having fun and and you see them taking pictures and stuff, you're like, dang it, I can't see it! I've got to race!
Yeah, there's some really good shots of you with a very serious look on your face.
And like 20 hats on my head.
The tallest possible resolution, and like your head is down here in like the bottom 10%. Just hat.
Oh, I'm not at all surprised. But hey, from what little I was picking up, because I mean, obviously I was trying to focus and not hear them announcing donations and stuff. But from what I hear or what I understand, we raised a lot of money in this segment, didn't we?
Yes, this was excellent.
Good. Then by
That is
golly,
out there
fantastic. That
very
is the
much.
goal.
then it was worth every hat and plastic cup and Burger King crown and Houston Astros abominational ball cap. I'm sorry, I'm a diehard Braves fan. I don't like, well, mostly I don't like my team right now, but yeah. Anyway, never mind. But yay, y'all.
So we're gonna start transitioning you over to the second race coming up. Thank you everybody from race 1 and the generous donations that you've all had for the Liam Foundation this weekend. That was a lot of fun. The hats were the true winners today, along with everybody in the room. So and everybody at home, thank you very much. And we're just gonna switch on over in a minute. Thank you.
Yeah, thank y'all.
Thank
Yeah,
y'all.
thank
you.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. We have the second half of our doubleheader, who's going to be actual JP versus Scudbus. It's another set of Moogle flags. As you know, we need 6 characters and 9 espers for unlock, and 9 characters, 12 espers, or 22 checks for skip.
Sigil, do you see what I'm seeing?
Yeah. Yes.
I see a dog in the hash.
I know. That means it's even better.
I know, this is going to be a much better seed this time that you rolled. I fully don't expect to see
Yes.
Goddess and Magimaster at Floating Continent, and Doomgaze right there on the Common Trail. All right, so, yeah, we got Scudbus, and we got actual JP. Squiddy equals Scudbus, by the way.
Yes.
They're so important they get 2 different names.
Can I jump in real quick? Because we've got some bounties
Oh,
available from Gungadi, $130 donation. And bounties, first runner to do the following, donate to Runner's Choice. Cast Crusader the Esper, $20. Clear Magimaster, $20. Clear Burning House, $20. Clear Cultist Tower, $20. Eliminate Sid, $50. Anything unmet or not done becomes Caster's Choice.
Ooh, very nice. And Sigil, that is a mug start. So I thought you had rolled a better C, but it turns out I actually rolled a worse one somehow.
I know.
So if you're unfamiliar with a mug start is Mog, Yumaro, Gogo. Only one of those 3 characters, in my opinion, is very good. The other 2 are suspect. And yeah, Sigil, you're dishing them out today. My goodness.
Yes. It's for the fans out there. And we have Scudbus going to the Apple right away. Well, actual JP is doing Mog's Lone Wolf check. Should be going to the Mog's Lone Wolf check.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, the Lone Wolf check is one of Mog's free checks, if you will. You walking up there, you get a choice between an item, which the game will tell you what it is, or you can, the sprite will kind of tell you what, either there's a character or an esper or an item for the other reward. And you know what? If you'd rather have the other one, or if you want both, you can actually go in the World of Ruin and get whatever you let fall off the cliff from the Lone Wolf checks.
Where
It's
you
pretty cool.
where you just pick up Mog in the World of Ruin.
Yep. And Scudbus is contractually obligated to perform in the opera. So is JP. So it looks like Scudbus is getting out of the way right at the start.
And unlike last seed, actual JP found sleeper bags right away.
Very nice. Looks like, yeah, JP's going to cash in that Lone Wolf check right away. I like that move because your other free check is Gogo's Cave. And as we saw last seed, sometimes it's a little bit trolly when you get in there.
And as we just saw, we could peek Yeti's check, which is locked this time.
Yeah.
So I could see JP going there early.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, we got, just like last time, we got to get to the Tri-Talk spot first, but once we get to the Tri-Talk spot, fight whatever's hanging on tomorrow's cave. We know for sure we're getting a character there some way, somehow. All right.
Do you think it's going to be a character at the Lone Wolf spot?
I'll let you know as soon as JP takes 2 more steps to the left. All right, I think it's going to be Cyan. Oh, look at that. Hey, it's Cyan. That's pretty fortunate.
I know.
Yeah. So another cool thing about doing this early, as we mentioned, Lone Wolf's going to tell you, hey, you can take Cyan, who isn't a great character, but he's a great character, great checks. Or you can take the Flame Shield.
Yes.
So if we ever need a Flame Shield later on, we know where one's at for us for sure.
Yes.
All right, that's
but Cyan's low magic power. Slots isn't that great.
Nah, you don't want to see slots on Cyan. You don't want to see Cyan, period. But slots doesn't make him any much better. At least we know where Locke is, right?
Yes. At least Cyan comes with great checks. Where one of the best checks in the game is Doma Dream, which is 3 checks. The middle one's guaranteed progression, which is a character or a Esper, and it only has 2 bosses.
Yes, indeed. All right, Sigil, so JP is now going to head out of Lone Wolf. He's walking out with Cyan and Stowe, and it could be a while for Squiddy Scud Bus over here finds where that cyan is. What do you think JP's going to do next?
I'm thinking either. I think he's going to do his normal looting path to make his way to probably save or kill Sid and the Opera House.
Now, in marathon events like this, where you're doing some shenanigans with save and kill Sid with the Opera House, do you prefer to get them out of the way at first, at the beginning, or do you save them for later in the seed?
It depends if there's an objective tied to it. Like in the Moogle Cup, you get a high tier weapon for the Opera House, and for save and kill Sid, you get a high tier armor. So I like to get those out of the way right away with these flag sets.
Yeah, that makes a
Because
lot
it
of
can be a big boost for your offense or defense.
Makes a lot of sense. All right, so JP doing a little more traditional looting now. Most runners will start with Narsh, go to returners, maybe some combination of South Figaro and Sin shortly after, and then we expect him to be taking some fights. But Scud Bus, he's done with his opera. He should go hopping on the same trail that JP is somehow right now.
Yeah. Speaking of South Figaro, that's where Scud Bus is going to loot first.
Very nice. All right. So gold hairpin, there's a red jacket in returners too, so not a lot of great loot, but we did find super balls in Narsh for JP, and he did buy one. Scud Bus will not see those because he kind of bolted out and went to the opera, unless he goes back there. So what does the super ball do for JP Sigil?
Generally with Super Balls, we'll like to go to dragons right away. Either, let's say, the Opera Dragon. If you have Cyan Mount Zozo, which has a dragon and a free check, or you do Cliffs at Notch, which you have, in this case, a dragon, the Tritok spot, and the Yeti check, which we know is lock.
Yeah.
And with the Go-Go start, Super Balls can go a long way.
Yeah, if we get a decent roll on that super ball, we can kill just one shot about just about any dragon that could be out there. I can get it. All right, so earrings in the shop. Earrings
And
are
a True Knight.
Ooh, very nice.
Yes.
All right, so it looks like Scud Bus is going to do the South Figaro basement, which is some pretty good loot down there. Handful of chests. I guess JP's going to not go down there yet.
Nah.
All right, so we're going to be doing some little bit more looting for the next few minutes. So Sigil, what check would you open with here with discarding characters that we have access to, and also knowing that we know where Locke is?
In JP's case, I would go back for the Super Balls, do Mount Zozo first, then head to Woodrow and Nosh.
Yeah, that's a fantastic choice. I think I'd go back to some more Super Balls, but I think I'd go a different route. I know we have a dragon on the way to lock, plus 2 bosses. I think what I would do is go buy some Super Balls, just enough to get through the 2 bosses that stand between me and that lock, plus the dragon. And then
the reason why I say Mount Zozo first, to see if it's an Esper, so I can learn some spells.
Yeah, that's a very good point. If it's an Esper, you just turn around and, you know what, kill the dragon, and you get to learn the spells off of your newly found Esper. You can kind of, I guess you could kind of do the same thing with Tritok, see what's going on with the Tritok situation, do the same thing with the Ice Dragon. But either way, if you notice, Sigil and I are both finding creative ways to kill some dragons. Dragons in Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide are really lucrative. Get a bunch of experience, a bunch of AP, high tier item for doing so. Plus, they count as a check for your check skip if you go that route.
And with the Moogle Cup flags, dragons do not increase the scaling.
No, they do
Only
not.
characters and Espers do.
Yes, indeed. So for every dragon kill, we get a bunch of characters levels, plus a bunch of gear, plus the dragons. Vanilla drops aren't that bad anyways.
Yes.
And then we get all the levels, but nothing else does, so we kind of outpower everything from that point forward.
Yes.
All right, so maybe Scudbus will make his way back up to Narsh and find those Super Balls as well, because he's kind of working north up from the Opera House.
Mind if I jump in with a donation real quick?
I'd prefer it.
Alrighty. $25 from J Brun TR saying, shout out to the Moogles. Y'all are awesome.
Jay Brunter's too nice of a guy, I tell you what. Alright, so JP is done with water balance out Figaro. He may head towards a check, he may head towards Zen.
And he's going towards Zen.
Yeah. What's in Zen waiting for him, Sigil?
The Zen Thief, which is either Esper or item.
Mm-hmm. Right,
in this case, it's the item, since it did not tell you it has a glowing stone. And it's a really expensive item this time around.
Yeah, so it can be a different price in the World of Ruin. It actually can roll anywhere between 1 and 65,000 GP plus some change. But if it's 56 in one world, it's probably cheaper in the other. But as we've seen tonight with those Seed Sigil rolls, it's probably more expensive in the World of Ruin.
Yes. And we have Scarbus checking the beginner's house. Oh, that was a nice chunk of change.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
All right, JP crossing 10-minute mark. JP may start taking some checks. He may start performing the opera. He may start singing. He's gonna think about it for a second. Nothing wrong with this. Make sure you make the right choice, a logical choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Scudbus has made his way back to Narsh. Uh-oh. I don't think he saved.
No.
Okay.
No, I think he did.
I take it all back then.
Yes. And it looks like JP's going back for the Super Bowls.
Very nice. Yeah, a lot of great things to sell there. You know, ribbons, you know, sell for 5 figures, memento rings, the gold hairpin if you want to part with it, the crystal mill. A lot of money there, so he's going to walk out of here with at least 5 or 6 Super Balls, I think. Yeah, 5 on the dot.
Nice.
Very nice.
Right. Thanks for the raid, Jay Brunter.
Yeah, Jay Brunter, appreciate you. Just when we said you couldn't, too nice of a guy, you go ahead and outdo yourself yet again, my friend. We appreciate you. All right, so I think JP has a date with the Opera Dragon here.
Yes.
Yeah, he's in the neighborhood. He's putting in the gate code to get inside the apartment complex, and there he is.
Yes.
All right, so JP will be killing a dragon with those Super Balls. We're still not sure where Scudbus is going to go. I think whatever he's thinking is going to get turned upside down when he sees what's in the weapon shop here and when he finds the Super Balls. But I think, you know, JP going to a dragon, Sigil and I talking about killing dragons, and I think Scudbus will arrive at the same conclusion when he sees the Super Balls some way, somehow.
Yes.
We now know, both of our runners now know where Locke is and what's waiting for us at the Yamaro Cave.
And Scarbus is soon going to be happy with the Lone Wolf.
Yep. Alright, Skull Dragon. There are some downsides, some risks to doing this Super Ball Dragon play early on. For example, if you run into the Water Dragon or the Gold Dragon, they're kind of rude and they can do some AoE attacks, but the Skull Dragon is the opposite of rude. He's actually very friendly. You even wonder why he's an enemy sometimes. He's just going to sit there and take some Super Balls, and we'll get some nice rewards for it.
And it looks like JP doesn't want to use another Super Ball.
Yeah, that is one of the downsides of using Yamaro, is he can kind of interrupt, you know, some go-go shenanigans. So he can't really mimic all these Super Balls back-to-back if Yamaro's acting in between go-go turns. But we had a really good roll the first one, kind of a dud on the second one, but he's got to figure he's close enough there to maybe just power through this with what he's got.
Yeah. And the Skull Dragon drops a muscle belt, which is great for Valiant Knife users.
Yep.
The
yes, it
muscle
does.
belt increases your max HP by 50%, which doesn't stack with the red cap.
Nope, does not. But yeah, 50% is a robust amount of HP, and you can just kind of put it on, take it off mid-fight to reduce your HP total. So if we stumble across the Valiant Knife, and we know where a Valiant Knife user is, that we'll get eventually.
Yes.
Arguably one of the most powerful weapons in the game, if not the most powerful early on.
And we have Scudbus doing Kefgat Nosh.
Ooh, this is spicy.
Yes.
Interesting, spicy. Some combination of those, but
Yes. It depends on what the boss is here.
most definitely, because yeah, the downside to Super Balls is that there's multiple targets on screen. It's kind of hard to get them to go where you want them to go. So you're just a further roll of the dice. So not only are you banking on getting the damage rolls you want, you're also banking on getting them to go where you want them to go. But ooh, this landworm is interesting.
Yeah.
He's gonna run away from it though.
How do you feel about landworms?
They are fantastic. They are weak to ice. You can instant death them. However, they do counter attack every time you attack them with an earth ability, so it can kind of get out of hand if you can't survive that. But if you can do one of the first couple of things, they're great chunks of experience and MP and whatnot. All right, so ooh. So that's a gold bear. Not much in the way of an enemy, but that's an interesting rage if we come across a rage user that we'll have access to.
Right. Gold Bear is 2 times damage.
2.5. And that stacks
Yeah.
really well with things like sniperings, things like fixed dice, even things like
Nice.
the Luminas. And if you throw the offering in there as well, things
It's
get out
even
of hand.
better.
Yeah, things can get out of hand really fast. Alright, so this is a fortunate boss for Scudbus to be here. If this was something like Haydn or the Tentacles, that's kind of an obstacle early, but actually, you know what? Scudbus didn't see the Super Balls because he didn't go to the weapon shop. He went north up the trail after the item shop, so
Yeah.
that is unfortunate for him.
Yeah. And he has his Mog equipped with the Tempest Sword, which has the effect when you use the fight command, it could use Wind Slash type move.
Did he just drop a Magicite and almost Ragnarok Ultros here? Yes, he did. Getting creative. Yeah, this is unfortunate here now for Scudbus because when Ultros moves around the screen here, he resets his HP for this spot. So now if we couldn't kill him in the first spot before he reset his HP, he's going to move again. And we probably can't kill him this time either. So this could have been turned into an unfortunate situation for Scudbus, all because we didn't see where the Super Balls were. All right, so JP working his way up. Narsh just in another world, a post-apocalyptic world, if you will. He will have different things going on up here, but at the end of it, he's getting locked no matter what. That's for sure.
Yes, and he's killing his second dragon.
ABCD, my friend.
Yes.
All right, so 4 Super Balls still at JP's disposal. That's a pretty good roll. That's a very good roll.
That was a great roll.
Very nice.
And we still have Scudbus fighting Ultros.
Yeah, eventually what Ultros 2 will do is he'll move back to his original spot, or you can get fortunate with some Elf Fires and get him before he can move. But eventually he goes back to his first spot, and then you can kind of, just pick up where you left off and maybe take him down that way before he starts shifting around the screen again. But Phoenix for Scudbus.
And Scudbus was awarded with Phoenix. And JP got the experience egg from the Nosh Dragon.
Very nice.
And he put it on our favorite character.
You love to see it. Yamaru highly underrated, and not just Final Fantasy VI, but all of video games. right, so that's kind of a, just one of those natures of the randomizer type thing. Scudbus didn't see Super Balls. JP did, and he was rewarded with an experience egg. But also kudos to JP. Once the game gives you some fortunate actions, it's still on you to be aggressive and put them to use. So good on JP there. Scudbus is going to continue the Mog actions, the Mog checks. He's chopping down to the Moogle defense.
And since it's a Moogle,
Yep.
we know it's either going to be an Esper or an item.
Yes, indeed. If this was like a sprite, like a Terra or a Sabin, it would be that character as a reward. But since it's not, it is a Esper or item for sure.
I'm hoping an Esper for Scudbus.
Yeah, or an experience egg. It never hurts to get a dead check experience egg early.
And JP gets
Odin.
Odin. Which would be great for tiers 1 and 2 of Final Kafka.
Alright, so Scudbus is peeking the wolf sprites, and what these will be is they will all be the same encounter, and they are Red Fangs. So Red Fang's kind of a middle of the pack encounter. We'll give him some experience, but not as much as you want. So if you really wanted the extra experience, you could take a lot of these. But I think what he was probably doing was just peeking 1 or 2 of them and just see, maybe this is, a gold mine. If not, so be it. Go on about your business. Take down the boss. And Sigil, what did they do to you tonight? How did they wrong you?
I don't know. They didn't donate enough.
All right, well, obviously we'll have to correct that mistake for them.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Magic Master in unfortunate spots. 2 seeds in a row courtesy of the seed Sigil has rolled, and that's even unfortunate. We're trying to break the glass to get through this fight because we're in a sticky situation.
Yeah.
So just throw some Hail Marys. Oh, no.
Oh,
So
no.
You see what
Oh,
JP
no.
just did, right?
Yes.
We may get a Crusader summon after all. Just a show. All right, so pop quiz, Sigil. If you use a magic
Good.
pop quiz, Sigil.
Yeah.
If you use a Magicite and then mimic it, does it summon the same Esper or does it pick another one?
Would it summon the same Esper?
I was asking you. I don't know.
I'm not too sure either.
Yeah, well.
I never did that before. I'm
So-
always afraid that it'll just be Crusader coming up.
So Scudbus YOLO'd it into the caves after he finished his Kefkat Nars check. So unfortunately, he's sent back a little bit farther than what he would like, but that's okay. We know this is an easy boss. We can give it another go and
Yes.
be fine.
And as our run is normally, since we switch between Ultras League and Moogle Cup very often, sometimes our run is forgetting Moogle Cup. You could Phoenix Down or Revify, Hit On, Phantom Train, and the second part of Senior Behemoth.
Yeah. So what is the Moogle Cup, Sigil?
Moogle Cup is a beginner-friendly event where a person that's starting to learn Worlds Collide would be paired with a mentor and have a little competition with other people of the same way.
Yes, indeed. The Moogle Cup is our Worlds Collide new player program, and Sawyer, Dragon Lady, and JP and Scudbus, they are all graduates of that program, and you learn things like Haydn being weak to or being undead. I just heard Karat in the background say, "Yeah, we do." Yeah, so Sigil, you went through the Moogle Cup yourself, and when you started, you didn't even know how to do damage in Final Fantasy VI, and we taught you that, and you've grown so much more. So yeah.
Yes. My wonderful mentor, Physics.
Yeah, Fix is a great guy.
And everyone else in the community. Because they're willing to answer any question I threw out there.
All right, JP through his hide and fight. Scudbus has taken down Ultras 2 for the second time. Do you think Scudbus is going to jump after that Moogle defense check right away again?
No.
I don't think so either.
because you have no, unless he gets Super Balls, there's no way he really could get through it.
All right. He's taken just 3 characters. Did Scudbus leave Yumara out of the party because he's going to go do a check or something, or is he just protesting? All right. Lock for JP. Pretty nice to find Lock when you're right in Waldo or Nars because you can just do what he's doing now and warp out, go back in, get the quote-unquote free check that Lock gives us access to.
And one thing about the Amaro check, if it's a character, you have to talk to the character, else they won't join you.
Yep.
I learned that the hard way.
All right. Now JP's going back into the weapon shop, and this will give us a choice of an Esper or an item, or an Esper item or an item. And if we pass on one, we can get the other one later on the seed if we find Terror, because it will live behind the Welk Gate spot. That's a tough choice.
I probably would have took the Valiant Knife.
I mean, you can't go wrong with either one this early on. It's still,
Yes.
It's still very much in the pass on the Esper for a good items territory.
Yes. Yeah, no, my reason is I already have the muscle belt.
Do we have an offering? I thought we've got an offering somewhere. Or was that last seed?
No, that was last seed.
Okay. All right, I think JP's going to go back into the Moogle Mines, get his Flame Shield. I like that.
Yeah.
Might as well. That was a 5 battle per shield.
And also, since JP sold a lot of his armor,
Mm-hmm.
he needs some defense. Because even a Moogle Cup, if you don't have any defense, the later bosses are going to hurt you.
All right, Blue Dragon. The good news is Scudbus get through this. That experience egg is waiting for him, which is going to be a really good find. Charm Bangle and the vanilla Moogle Charm Spot. That's funny. All right, there we go. Warpstone now, JP.
Right. I wonder if JP is going to check the Coliseum.
If I took the Valiant Knife, I 1000% would check that out at some point in time, because we do have access to one monster in box, but not really any others. So that means if the offering's out there, we kind of need some characters to go find it, right? Because we need some characters to get access to those checks. So, oh, that's a sword tech on that lock. I did not catch that earlier on.
Yeah, and on Moogle Cup flags, if you do Dome a Dream and unlock Sword Tech fully, unless for you to unlock Sword Tech 8, your character have to be like level 72.
Yeah, we could slide the egg over, get to level 44, and that gives us access to the best Sword Tech 7. But I mean, we have Cyan anyways, so maybe you can put the egg over there just for the levels to make Sword Tech 7 or 6 if you want to go a different route that powerful. But we're gonna get anyways, I would expect. All right, Scud busts through his Blue Dragon, excuse me, and there he goes.
And our least favorite Ultros 4, I believe.
Yep, we damage this guy. His friend comes along, sneezes us away. We boo him.
And we get nothing but the item reward from afterwards.
Yep, we get nothing but the reward, no experience. But this is also one of those bosses where Super Balls is really, obviously you can get through with Super Balls, but you're kind of banking on hitting the back guy to get through the fight. And Super Balls don't always go where you want them to go.
Yes. I'm surprised, though, that JP isn't taking advantage of Bahamut with the multi-summon.
Oh, that's nice. That's a good point, because not only can he summon it, but he can also mimic it.
Yes.
Essentially forever with Go-Go, and that's Ultima Light, if you will. All All right, Ultros forward fight. Eventually, Yudamaru can hit Ultros enough and he'll kill him and take him off the screen. And then he can just focus on Chupon. But this fight's probably take a little bit longer than what JP would like to do here.
Which you don't want to see L fire
No,
on Chupon since Chupon absorbs fire.
Absorbs fire, weak to ice. Chupon's battle script is actually, that's another unfortunate fire, but Chupon's battle script is actually pretty easy to learn. On turn 1, he punches you, and on turn 2, he does either fire attack 1 of 3 times, or he punches you 2 out of 3 times, and that's it. It just repeats forever, so pretty easy to fight to learn. But if you're banking on elf fire targeting the right guy, it's kind of an annoying fight here. But there goes, Ultros down. There we go. Now we can Super Ball.
Yes. Which go bus just got Odin. And they're going to make their way down to the Yeti spot.
Yeah, they'll get their lock. Oh no, I think Gogo mimicked the rage on the dance on accident, but luckily he picked rage.
Yes.
Alright, we're playing with fire here a little bit, literally and figuratively, with those rages. There we go.
There you go.
Alright, we're through. Ooh. So
JP's gonna get the best of both worlds now.
Yeah, take all that Valiant Knife or Bahamut discussion, just throw it out the window because now we can go get both.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh.
Okay. Alright, so Cyan had Mog had JP's Moogle Charm, and he took him out the party for the newly found terror, but fortunately that wasn't a danger of a fight, so we just warp out of it.
Yes. With the terrorist equipment pool, I agree with that decision.
Yeah, plus Terra has the second highest magic stat in the game, save for Realm. Do you know who has the third highest magic stat?
Tomorrow.
Thank you, Sigil. I have educated you well. You're a great friend, and you're a true associate of the Save the Umaro Foundation. So Mountain Zozo time here for JP. What do you think of this going to Mount Zozo here, Sigil?
I would have went for the wealth check first, and then make my way here or Doma Dream.
Yeah, that
because with the VK, since you have Terra now, after you get past the wealth check, we could get the VK.
Yeah, it could be some combination of, let's go see what's in the Imperial Treasure Room, which is Terra gives us access to as a bunch of treasure, and a check, plus we know there's a Valiant Knife wandering around at our disposal. But I don't think JP's going to be in a position to struggle with the dragon, so maybe the order of operations here is irrelevant, and he's just going to profit just in a different order than what we're discussing.
Yes.
Ooh, dragon boots. Alright, Scud Bus is going to make his decision, Valiant Knife or Bahamut, and maybe he'll check the Curse Shield as well, which was only 5. Ooh, it's an Esper.
And Scud Bus went with Bahamut also.
Alright, so I think JP walked past the dragon, so since this was an Esper, he can essentially throw it on, backtrack and kill the dragon, and learn whatever spells. Or maybe it has a nice stat bonus on it as well, and we can just throw that into the character stats that we put it on. Oh, did you see that?
Yeah.
That was the thing.
Can you tell me, what thing was it?
It was the sea thing.
Yes.
It was the sea thing that we can't survive.
Oof. But at least it comes from Mutant Doom.
Yeah, so there are some bonus incentives floating around there. One of them revolves out to Esper. There are some, we do bind Dragoon Boots, so there are some creative ways
Yes.
to cast Crusader and survive to tell the tale. And Dragoon Boots is one of them, so maybe we see that there. If we're lucky, of course. Alright, so JP's at the point of the seed where Super Balls are kind of, losing their touch, so he's just going to go ahead and part with the last one he had and mimic it, and why not? But he's going to be banking on his eventual Valiant Knife and his other offense now to get through the checks he has at his disposal. And Scudbus is...
No, he doesn't have Valiant Knife.
Oh, that's right. He didn't go back and get it.
No.
That's okay.
And we have Scudbus at the Three Stooges match, which has Guardian.
Alright, so Grant heads up play there by Scudbus. You can uncurse the Curse Shield by equipping it mid-battle, and you avoid all of the negative status effects it inflicts upon your character. The trick to doing that is, though, is you just gotta remember to take it off the next fight, because if you start a fight with a character with the Curse Shield equipped, then all those status effects kick in, and they're muddled, they're confused, and whatnot, so it can turn on you a little faster, but nevertheless, Scudbus equipping it mid-battle. This will count as a fight for him. JP is out of Mountain Zozo.
But as we saw with Sword Tech 4, it didn't do that much damage. It's because it takes the enemy's defense into account. Unlike Sword Tech 7.
Yep. Ooh, that's a Chocobop. That's nicely done. Alright, so JP is following in Scudbus's footsteps. He will be traversing Dome of Dream to get his lock online, fully online.
He equipped a fixed dice on lock.
Ooh, nice.
Yes.
Yeah, Guardian is a little tougher fight if you don't have access to water or bolt spells. Sometimes he shows up on your screen and you cast Bolt 3 twice and he disappears.
Yes.
Sometimes when you can't take advantage of his weaknesses, the fight can drag a little bit and he can be a little difficult on you.
Guardian's one of those fights I do not like to see early.
No, you definitely don't want to see him early. He is, however, a huge chunk of experience and ability points. So if you can find him later, sometimes he's now a great character to bounce some spells off of. But in this situation where we're on the brink, we're close to having some really good offense. We're just not quite there yet with levels. Plus, we have some errands to run and get that Valiant Knife. So a fortunate spot here to run into a Guardian.
Yes.
All right, there we go. Now we're remembering the power of Bahamut.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good, but you know what? If that's the best thing at your disposal, why not just, summon that a few times until you can get something better?
Yes.
That's what JP's doing now. Ooh, speaking of things that are good. It's That's a Magic Power plus 2 Esper Sigil. Who are you putting that on if you're Scudbus or JP?
I'll be putting on Terra.
Terra?
And have Terra just use Bahamut the whole game.
Yeah, that would be a bad idea because, we can't put stat boosting Espers on Yamara. One of the few drawbacks of him. And we also can't put them on Go-Go. And we kind of have Lock lined up with Sword Tech for the future, so by default, it's kind of got to go in Terra.
And Lock's magic is as good as Terra's.
Nope. It can be better with that plus 2 Esper, but you might as well, she starts out better,
But it'll just make Terra's magic better overall.
Yeah. Alright, so JP struggling through the fight a little bit. He's got a lot of HP. He gets kind of creative with attacks he throws at you. He mimics Ultra's battle skip, and if it rolls too long, he starts throwing things at you, and that's what's really can get really scary there. But
Yeah.
we'll never know if it's scary or not,
No.
because JP's through his fight.
Yes. I always get scared after he goes through his Ultra script.
Yeah, fun fact about the little scene Scud Bus is in right here, that if you take fixed encounters while you're in the magic armor, all of your characters get the magic ability. Alright, so we see a merchant sprite is the guy running top of the trains. What does that mean, Sigil?
That means it's going to be a Esper right after the second boss here. If it was a sprite like Eggers or Sabins, that means it would have been one of them. Whoever the sprite was.
Yeah, the middle part of Dome or Dream is what we call guaranteed progression. So it's either a character or an Esper, and because it's not a character sprite, we know it's for sure a character. For sure an Esper. But however, the other two spots are not guaranteed. Progression, they can either be an Esper or an item, though they can't be a character. But because there's 3 total, plus a guaranteed spot, plus only 2 bosses to get all of that goodies. Oh no, Scud Bus just tempted himself.
Yes. And you can't actually take damage away from Chad until they go into demon form.
No, you cannot. There's really not anything we do about Mog here except KO him if we don't want him to continue attacking the party. Like that.
Oh.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate there for Scud Bus.
Yes. And in the first part, when it's in its lady form, if you have your party run, Yamara won't attack.
Yeah, that's okay though. Yamaro's got this. We're doing 1,000 damage a
Yes.
swing. We're doing 2,000 of body slam. Plasma. Okay, I take it back. We may be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
That's all good. We'll just give it another try here in a moment. All right, JP's finding out he's got to go through Chatternick to get out of the dream.
And JP's doing what we just talked about earlier. You just keep doing this until it starts to change.
Yeah, Yamaro will not act while your party is trying to run away. Neither will a Berserk or a Rage character or a character that's triggered the dance. So you really don't. You can't kill Chatternook by punching the lady form. You only trigger some counterattacks you don't want and just waste time. So great heads up play there by JP.
And as JP's shown us, Sword Tech 5 refills your missing health and missing MP.
Very nice.
As long as the enemy has it.
All right. Yeah, Chatternook will also, as we saw with Plasma, he does some nasty thunder bolt commands at you. A couple AoE ones, like Bolt Edge or whatnot, depending on where he's at with the scaling. So he can be a little bit annoying, a little bit dangerous of a fight if you don't have a way to negate that. Yeah, out comes another Plasma for Scud Bus. Yep.
And with that, Curse Shield, since the Curse Shield makes you weak to all elements, Mark's going to be taking extra damage.
Yep, and was that another Magicite drop? That was another Magicite drop. He doesn't have access to 900, does he?
No, he shouldn't.
Ooh, that's fortunate because Chatternook is weak to Pearl, but he is swiftly reprimanded for getting creative in this situation. All right, Phoenix down. We're trying to get things back under control.
And JP finally uses the fixed dice.
Nice.
Nice. Jay Brunt and Chad did the signs for us. Magicite does some in a different aspect when Gogo mimics.
Jay Brunter outshines himself yet again.
Yes. He's the hero we don't deserve.
Exactly. Alright, so Scudbus has all of his party members up. Ooh, that's a pretty fortunate Elfire. Hopefully that does it for him. It does not, but...
Okay.
There we go.
And that's a great Esper JP found on the throne. Fenrir.
Yeah, when we summon Fenrir, that gives us all of our characters the image status. Scudbus is through his Chattanooga fight. Good for him. He's going
to be finding the same things.
Yep. Plus, more importantly, all of his characters were left alive for that one, so they all get the experience. And that's just going to help get him back on track, because he's had a few fights where that didn't quite happen for him. So.
And we have JP most likely going to the wealth check.
Oh yeah, it's Valiant Knife time.
Yes.
I don't think JP's done the monster box yet, though, so maybe he's you know, trying to pair that Valiant Knife with the ultimate pairing.
Yeah, Doma Dream is one of the few checks where you get a full refill after you complete the check.
Mm-hmm.
That and Doma Siege and Baron Falls before you fight the boss.
Mm-hmm. All right, PM Stalker's down. Do we see a little bit of a divergence here, or do we see JP and Scudbus follow each other's footsteps?
It looks like we're having a divergence. Maybe.
Maybe. What's going on with that GPS? Oh, it's save kill. We're saving Sid, right?
It's Sid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, if we forgot it, then obviously there's a small chance the runners may forget it as well. So might as well.
Yeah.
Might as well. All right, we got Vargas. Not much of a threat to JP at this point in time, but
I think Scudbus forgot to talk to Sid.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what Scudbus wants to do here is he wants to find the faster moving fish, like that one right there in the middle. That's the good one right there. And there's a little miniature, you know, HP total floating around for Sid's HP. Faster fish makes it tick up, and once it ticks up to a certain point, he is considered saved and objective complete. All right, Vargas down. Ooh, that's Raiden.
Raiden.
And Valiant Knife acquired. How aggressive, Sigil, would you be searching for the offering with a Valiant Knife Intel? What would you do here?
I would just go to the Coliseum.
Mm-hmm.
Because you really don't have the characters for Monster and Boxes.
Yeah, that's a great point. We don't have Sabin, we don't have Setzer, we don't have Shadow, who gives us... Well, technically we can go get one of Shadow's monster boxes whenever we want. It's just... can't do a check on the way, unfortunately. But, yeah, without those characters, some combination of what JP's doing now, just grab some chests, maybe see if it's in there, and then picking this up at the Coliseum is very much worth it. Because that offering makes that Valiant Knife so powerful. All right, Ribbon, that's a lot of money.
I believe I saw a hero ring.
That's like the 5th elixir in that
Yes.
treasure room. It's pretty good for some Sand Thief shenanigans, but I think we already picked up Minerva from there for both runners. Alright, Scud Bus will get his Storm Dragon fight knocked out of the way. Alright, so Cave to the Seal Gate is one of the coolest checks in the game. We just saw, JP go through the Imperial Treasure Room. So many chests, and then really on the back half, you get all those chests in one spot. Then you can almost play, how much more do I need? Do I want to grab all these chests? Because some of them are kind of far out of the way. Some of them you can't even walk past without getting them. So it's a great check in that if you still need to round out some characters with some things like earrings or hero rings, or if you need money for Zen Thief or whatever it may be, fantastic check all around.
A 6 elixir?
Yeah, elixir number 6.
Yes.
If we find one more elixir, I think I'm gonna make a donation just because I think that's a sign. Ooh, I like this switch play here from JP. Yeah, whatever the fight is that drops down from this switch will be the same thing every time. So if you're ever hurting for levels or ability points or even money, the Boris is going to give us all of those. So we can pull this however many times we want and just profit. So that's Boris number 2, Storm Dragon down, Esper waiting for Scud Bus here at the end of this. Ooh, a 3rd Boris. Do we get a 4th one? No 4th one.
No.
Alright, so Valiant Knife on lock. He was the only vanilla wearer of the Valiant Knife in the game.
It's lock. And JP gave Locke a plus speed Esper, so Locke gets more turns with it.
Yeah, he doesn't quite have the levels for Sword Tech 7 to be amazing, but nevertheless, that Valiant Knife is amazing at just about any level.
But even then, you really need to pump up your vigor for Sword Tech 7 be really amazing.
Yeah, the higher the level, the better the vigor, the better Sword Tech 7 does, and JP knows that. He knows what's going on.
Yes.
This is Boris number 5. I like this.
5.
Yeah, and we're even at the point now Yamaro's just one-shotting him, so they're even more efficient. So if you want to do great things out of hand here, he's welcome to do so.
Y'all mind if I jump in with a quick donation?
Oh, please do.
Well, a certain commentary member named Drinks Glue donated $10. The comment is for Sigil to tell a Yeti joke.
Oh, there you go, Sigil.
Ah.
All right, we'll give Sigil a moment to come up with his best Yeti joke.
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately this time we're not one-shotting the Boris, so... Well, there we go. Yamaro heard us. He saw the situation wasn't under control and took care of it for him. All right. So JP's now going to go in there and get another hero ring. So this seal gate is full of nothing but elixirs and hero rings, apparently. What the? Okay, so that is 6 elixirs, 3 hero rings, a morning star for good measure.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
So Sigil,
Yes.
I've read through the Worlds Collide source code before. I don't understand most of it, but some of it I understand what's going on. How did you make nothing but X potions, morning stars, and elixirs and hero rings appear in this sealed cave when you rolled the seed?
I don't know. It was probably my deepest wish that I find them.
So pure magic is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm above the game with seed rolling now.
Okay.
And why doesn't Amaro ever get invited to strategy meetings?
Why doesn't he Sigil?
Because his only plan is smash now, think never.
It's a good one. It's a quality Yeti joke. I like it. All right. Scudbus is through his Doom fight. He's getting gold. Ooh, that's a throw, saving, Golem Esper.
Yes. That's the third. I think that's the third +2 magic power Esper we saw between the two runners.
Yeah. Plus we have a magic power +1 Esper as well. So.
Yes.
Yeah. One of the unfortunate things about the incentives, if you will, for Go-Go and Yamaro shenanigans is that they can't take advantage of those Espers. So, but Terran Lock can at least. Terran Lock can.
Yes.
All right, it's time for JP to fight Doom himself. He also may do some saving checks because that's that part of the world he's in. That's a saving neighborhood, so there's a couple saving checks he can peek as well while he's there.
And if you do Imperial Camp, there's a monster in the box there.
Yep. All right, this is Ultros number 4 for Scudbus. We know this is an Esper by virtue of JP doing it earlier. We know this is another Esper for JP. Saving is character number 6 though, so we're getting close to. We got to be getting close to our requirements.
Yes. Yeah, JP right now is at 7-7.
Mm-hmm. All right, there is Terra. Oh, I was mistaken. This is Terra, not an Esper. So Scudbus now knows the good news that he can go get his Valiant Knife, plus all of the elixirs in the sealed cave if he likes to do so.
And I'm not too sure what Scudbus is at.
See if I can pull up their streams and see what's going on. Let's pull up JP first. So JP is at 7 characters and 7 Espers, along with 17 checks. So number 7's all around to go with his 7 elixirs he found in the sealed cave.
Yes.
Let's go see what's going on with Scudbus. Actually, I can't find his stream, so maybe he's just streaming the Discord for the.
I think he's just streaming on Discord.
Okay, well, we'll be surprised when Scudbus is working up to Kepka's Tower. So that's Golem and Fenrir. That's 2 sources of calm and protection. Both kind of do the same thing, but in different ways. They allow us to avoid physical attacks.
Yes.
But
Golem makes a physical shield based on the caster's current HP. So if the HP of the caster is very low, the physical attacks will just chew right through it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so JP is immobilist. This check is what we call peekable. He can talk to one of the little kids in the basement of the collapsed house. They will tell JP what is the reward here. It will be either an Esper, item, or a character. And more importantly, though, JP left out a very important action. He walked past both of the dogs and elected to pet
Yes.
neither. He sees that Shiva is the reward, so he will get Shiva for completing this check. But if he does not pet the dogs on the way out, that will be an interesting choice, to say the least, from JP.
I still think JP needs to do the Opera House.
Yeah, that's true, because he killed the Opera Dragon, but that's not quite the same thing as performing in the opera.
Yes.
Alright, so the way this fight works for JP is the exact same way as the vanilla game. We take care of Fumbaba, he blows 2 characters away, and those last 2 characters take on a different boss. Could be a sticky situation if the boss happens to be unpleasant, but as long as we don't blow away, I think we're fine here, based on
Did we see Doomgaze yet?
We have not. We've seen Magimaster, we know he's in the Mongol Defense Cave. Tunnel Armor is no Doomgaze, so this will be quick work for actual JP, and it's Opera Dragon time now for Scud Bus.
Yes.
And so JP is a little bit ahead in levels, a little bit ahead in progression, but Scud Bus has done his 2 contractually obligated objectives, performing the opera and saving Sid.
No, Scudbus has unlock.
Oh, he does have unlock.
Yes. He got it at the Terra check.
I'm going to drop a little reminder to save Sid into the opera for them, just in case.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's actually unlocked for both runners. Just JP has some business to take care of, and there's more business he didn't take care of. He walked past the dogs twice. Someone says if he knows you and I are doing commentary and trying to disrespect us.
I know.
I tell you what, JP's the opposite of whatever Jay Brunter is tonight.
Yeah.
All right, so both of our runners, their party is pretty well developed. They got a lot of offense at their disposal. However, we're going to put that all to the test because in Kefka's Tower, we are compromised. We do have to split our party into 3 different lanes. 2 characters can go together from the main party, but unfortunately not all of them. So this can be an interesting situation on how this plays out. Sometimes it matters down to just dumb luck. Like, for example, if you have a tough boss you just can't deal with, it's a fortunate situation, and that's the opposite of an unfortunate situation, but too bad we found them at the hour and 2-minute mark. Yeah, that's a Ragnarok. Quality sword. Alright. JP may be close to skip because he was at 17 when we took a peek on him earlier. Wait, is he just taking 3 characters in? Was that a mistake, or is he sending a message? What's going on here? Maybe he realized mid-moment, mid-party formation, he has to go do the opera. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yes.
I think that's what it was. Alright, so JP saving Sid first. Scud Bus. Finding a Mega Elixir, that's a fantastic find this late in the seed because can't really benefit from any armors or experience eggs. Could benefit from what we're offering, but Mega Elixir in a chest, that's just so nice to have for the final fight, just to have it in the back pocket. Alright. So just like earlier, JP is looking for the fast fish. Fortunately, there is only a medium speed fish there, but you know what, they all count the same. Well, not, they don't count the same, but he eats them all the same, nonetheless. There we go, there's a fast one. Alright, so boss number 1, the ambush spot, the inferno spot for Scudbus coming on up. He's got Yamaru. He's got Lock on this side, so this is arguably his best possible party. Let's see what he's got. Oh, that's Air Force. Alright, so Air Force is sometimes a scary boss, sometimes he's a pushover. In Kefka's Tower, though, sometimes he tends to be the former. He has access to a lot of nasty abilities. So does all of his little friends that hang out with him. And once you take down his 2 friends, he brings out another friend who can absorb your magic. But you know what? Yamaru can just smash him. Just like that. It's okay, Lock. Problem solved. Now this fight shouldn't be much of a danger here for Scudbus. Plus, it should go a little bit faster now because there's only one part on screen that we need to kill.
Yeah, this is my least favorite boss in Kefka's Tower.
Yeah, him, Inferno, the Stooges. When your party's full together and awesome, they're think nothing of them. But when you have to 1v1 them or 1v3 them, they can give you the business sometimes.
And we should be seeing JP go to the Opera House now.
All right, we're about to see one more opera performance for good measure. What are your thoughts, Sigil, on Scudbus taking the dragon on the way up here with Block and Yamaru?
My only thing is, Scopus is probably hoping for an offering. To go with that VK.
Yeah, no offering. We're just getting another set of fixed dice we really don't want to use, but at least it's a nice amount of levels for Yamaru and Locke, who are both doing physical attacks. And just the way physical damage works in Worlds Collider, Final Fantasy VI in general, is levels are more important than anything, so at least there's a few more levels for him to scale up his physical damage for his 2 physical characters.
How do you normally set up your party for Kefka's Tower?
Sometimes it just depends, because not all parties are created equal. If you have ways to do defense ignoring damage with multiple characters, you spread those out. Sometimes that's not always possible, though, so sometimes it's a matter of, do you want to put your best character with your worst character? Do you want to spread your best character out? Do you want to put some characters that can benefit from levels in the right lane because they get 3 fights? So really it's kind of like party dependent, but I think the most important thing is just kind of spread out your damage the best way you can, some way, somehow. So that way you can kind of cover all of your bases and ignore or prevent some of the pitfalls you have, or having just a weak character 1v1. Even a medium boss can outclass a weak character, and if you can avoid that the best you can, then you put yourself in that success for Kefka's Tower more often than not.
Yeah, I like putting my strongest in the right lane going up the middle.
Yeah, definitely. If there's a physical, people that are ready for physical
Yeah.
levels, because of their physical attacks, they usually more often than not I put them on the right side. However, there's some times where they're already level 60, so levels don't matter for them, and they can just you can spread them out. All right, so from Baba here, this one won't blow away 2 characters after we beat him. He just goes down, and he actually gives us a decent amount of experience. All right, JP just got to walk up the stairs. There we go. Opera technically completed. Fun fact about performing the opera in Worlds Collide is if you fail the inputs or don't make it to the correct spots in time, it's not a redo. It's a game over.
Yeah, because in the vanilla you get 3 tries.
Mm-hmm.
And we have tentacles in the middle lane statue spot.
That we do. Great heads up play there by Scudbus. The bottom left.
Yeah.
Bottom left tentacle can be instant death.
Hello, I need to step in with a couple of donations, if I may.
Go right ahead.
Go right ahead, my friend.
Well, just as one of our fine commentators was responsible for the last donation, the other fine commentator is responsible for the last 2. Sigil donated $125 and said, all the SIDS. And then donated another $25 and said, can I get a Yeti joke glue?
No.
I mean, to be fair, how the question is phrased, that is a legitimate answer.
Yup.
All right.
I will say so. I will say, though, the lack of that joke leaves me feeling ice cold.
All right. Sigil, for you,
Yes.
my friend, for anybody else, this is the no stands, but because it's you, I will pass. What search engine does Yumaro use?
What?
Moogle. And you're welcome, my friend.
Thank you.
You bet. Alright. Pretty fortunate bosses here. This is Ultras number 1, and Ultras number 1 does not stay on the screen very long. Not even in the even the vanilla game. So 1 Bahamut summon here from Terra should probably do it. 2 Bahamut summons for sure will do it. Alright, so JP is also making his way into Kefis Tower. Is he in skip territory? No, he put Gogo and Yamaro in the same party.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, he doesn't have skip either. He had to be close.
He was at 19 checks.
Ah. And he had already killed the Opera Dragon, right? So he can't kill the Opera Dragon twice.
Yes.
I'm surprised with Saban, though, we didn't see any of Saban's checks with the monster box, because that can,
No.
with an offering, that's,
Yes.
as we've said many times, offering Space Value Knife equals success.
Yep.
Ooh, this is interesting. Business just picked up. So I think Mog has the Paladin Shield equipped, so he should be in a position here to survive this fight, or have a chance to at least, but this is one of those fights we were mentioning that can be unfortunate. He is not weak to ice, but that is unfortunately what Mog can do best right now. And because of that Magic Power +2 Esper, it's doing pretty good damage, but you're never really safe in this fight, because if Poltergeist casts Stop on you, your gameplay stops and it's game over. Plus, he can do things like that. Launcher is fractional, can't avoid it. He has access to some non-elemental defensive ignoring spells at this point in time in the seed, so this is a dangerous fight all around for Scudbus, and eventually JP. Scud Bus is going to try to power through here, but we do have.
Like you said, unless Poltergeist casts a stop, nothing can really stop Scud Bus.
Yeah, the Paladin Shield is coming in so clutch here because we can block. You know, not only can we block a lot of things, but we can also absorb a lot of the fire spells he's going to throw at us, like Merton and Firestar, as we saw, because we got pretty good levels, and Firestar might wipe us because of the way its damage formula works. But I haven't seen Fallen 1 from Poltergeist in a while. This is a spicy, spicy chicken.
Yes.
Alright, so I'm not really sure of what Scudbus's scaling is here, but Poltergeist has about over 800 HP for every level he is. So he's 3,000 and Ice 2. It's going to take a number of Ice 2s to get through this no matter what. And that's one of those nasty spells we mentioned. Ooh, we're just hanging on, but Poltergeist is probably going to act again before Maw can act again. Yeah, fortunate we got Wave Cannon there because we can absorb it. Okay, so JP a little behind in the tower.
One little trick Scudbus could do with the Paladin Shield is just cast the ice spells on himself.
Yeah, he can cast ice spells on himself to heal himself, but
Yes.
Poltergeist appears to be alternate healing him and damaging him, and this is going to damage him. This might be a wipe. Oh no.
No,
That is,
because of the shell.
That's true. Ooh, that is a great perseverance from Scudbus. All of the dangerous things thrown at him. He perseveres. He shines through. That's very nicely done. So JP, based on his party formation, wonder who he's going to fight the Poltergeist spot and the Goddess spot. I'm not sure he put in that first lane, which is going to end up over there.
I'm more concerned about the tentacles with JP.
Yeah, tentacles when your party is split up can be just as annoying, but because they went for Scudbus against his Umaro and Locke, they were not much of a threat.
Glue, I have a question for you.
I have an answer for you.
How long do you think Scudbus is going to take on Final Kafka?
I'm going to guess 8 minutes and 64 seconds.
I'm going with 8 minutes, 30 seconds.
And the reason Sigil asked that, a fun little game we like to play with Worlds Collide is how long is it going to take the first runner to reach the final fight? How long will it take them to navigate through the various tiers and defeat Final Kafka? There are 4 tiers total. Each one has different amounts of parts, different challenges, different threats. Sigil, what's going on with Tier 1?
Tier 1, we have Long Arm, which is weak to instant death. Like Doom, you also break it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you saw Tech 8, like we just saw on Scudbus's side. Head is weak to fire, which we either cast like Reverse Polarity or Dread, which Dread turns you into stone and Reverse Polarity reverses you rose. And its death counter is Quake, which is why we kill it first most of the time.
Yeah.
While Long Arms is 1 to 3 shockwaves. And Short Arm just hits you really hard. And its death counter is just a hard hit.
Yeah, we
And
got.
as we just... Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got a snowball at least on one character, so we can take some of those punches. But when you choose one punch or a quake, it's not an easy choice which one you want to go with there. And the Paladin Shield paying dividends again. That is some Ultimas coming out
Yeah.
now.
Right. And I believe for elemental weakness, long arm is weak to wind.
hmm Yeah, as you saw there, that snow muffler on Yamaru only allowing him to take 1 damage from the punch.
And as Chad pointed out, Locke's party on JP side is going to fight Poltergeist.
Yeah, so his lock will have Sword Tech, so he could technically Sword Tech 6, which also has a chance to inflict stop. And Poltergeist is suspectable to being stopped. And that can make the fight a little bit safer for you. Gives you a few turns off to do some damage, maybe get through it.
And we have Scudbus going on to Tier 2, which Tier 2 has 4 targets. The middle target is Tools, which is weak to instant death like Doom and Sword Tech 8. And the bottom right is Tiger. It casts Northern, Southern Cross, and Flare Star. And when its HP gets on the low side, it starts casting Doom Tusk, which has a chance to turn your party members into zombies. The purple guy sitting on Tiger is hit. He just hits you, and his death count is 10 hits. And as DLK pointed out in chat, Tiger's also weak to ice. And as we see, big blue bubbles.
Yeah, Ultima, we can mimic it. We can Sword Tech 8.
Yeah.
Ultima comes really in handy on tiers 1 and 2 because there's so many parts, there's 3 and 4 parts, that we can just spread that damage around. And while it doesn't break the damage cap on an individual target, when you're doing 8,000 to 4 different parts, that's 32 total, and you just don't get that type of damage from anything else you have at your disposal. So you might as well.
And as we just saw on Scudbust's side, he muted magic, which magic is susceptible to mute, and that pretty much stops all his attacks. And you know you defeat him that way, it's when he does his stats counter, which is, I think, 1 to 2 quarters and 1 to 3 dispels. If you didn't mute magic, it'll cast all 3 tier 3 spells, Fire 3, Ice 3, and Bolt 3, and cast Stop, Imp, and Confusion. And Slow.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to risk taking a quarter in the 10 hits because 10 hits does exactly what you think it would. It punches you 10 times. So when you eat a fractional damage attack that puts you at low HP, then turn around and get 10 swings swung at you, it's not a recipe for a good time. But out comes 10 hits. The front part of tier 2 is dead, and all that's left is the back part now for Scudbus.
And while we on JP's side, he's finding the tentacles.
Yep.
DLK, blue bubbles that Cyan casts.
Alright, so we're seeing some blank quarters and dispels. Those aren't the real ones, but that should be the real one. So this tier 2 is over for Scudbus. We will be on to tier 3 after some animations.
Yes.
Alright, moment of truth for JP. If he wants to catch up, he needs this Poltergeist fight to go really fast, and he also needs Scudbus to stumble here on tier 3 or tier 4 some way somehow. But he's got such good offense, I don't think it's a high chance that that happens. Alright, so now that we're up to tier 3, we only have 2 parts, not 4, not 3, but 2. They are a little annoying though because the back one absorbs all the elements, but it only has 9,909 HP, so not too difficult to get rid of, and after that things get interesting. Is JP trying to go back and save? Oh, he forgot to push the switches. That's what it was. There we go. So now JP will get his Ultros 1 fight and his Poltergeist fight. Meanwhile, Scud Bus is in the Medio phase. Medio is not a fun phase to be in. Out comes Fenrir. That is to avoid an attack called Calmness that this last piece will do upon death, but we may want to recover here a little bit. Yeah, we're getting life 2 out. We won't lock back up for this. Yeah, all he will do now, each of his turns, is just Medio. So we got to be careful with our turn selection. We not only do want to kill him, but we want to make sure all of our characters that we want for the next tier are alive, because if they're not alive, when this tier concludes, they don't go up with us to the next fight. Oh no.
Oh no.
Does that target go Yamaru? It does, and it does connect on both of them. So at least what Scud Bus can do here is bring one of them back, and then use Locke's other turn with his quick to get through the fight, or he can life 2 with his quick for both characters. Alright. All of his characters are back up. Now he can get his Calmness protection equipped and rocking and rolling. And then Yamaru will act when his ATB fails, and I expect he will finish this tier off.
Thank you for the raid, Adirondack Rick, and welcome on in.
Alright, Sword Tech 7 from Scud Bus. I believe this will do it. There we go. Tier 3 down. Very nicely done by Scud Bus. Yeah,
You
Scud
want to do
Bus.
the honors for tier 4?
I'd love nothing more. So, last but not least of all of the tiers of Final Kefka is now we fight Kefka himself. There's only one piece on screen at 62,000 HP. But the good news is we got Yamaru. That's honestly all we need. We still got our image stats from the previous fight. That's a reset on Poltergeist for JP.
Right.
What are we looking to do first tier, Sigil, for tier 4?
Yeah. If I can't do over 30k damage right away, I'm watching out for Fallen One, which lowers everyone's HP to 1. And then after that, I hope I get him past 30k right away.
Yeah, unfortunately his Mog was out of MP, and his Mog was going to do some 9999 ultimate damage there, but we may be out of elixirs from that Poltergeist fight, so his Mog may be done.
Yeah, he used both elixirs in the Poltergeist fight.
Yeah, and he didn't go to Sealed Gate, so he didn't find the 27 elixirs that you had placed there in this seed, but he does have an X Ether. He also has the Mega Elixir if he wants to go that route as well.
Yes.
We're really lax. You got one? You got paper refill? Oh yeah, we got one. There's a split twice down the middle. Thank you. You want to be the princess queen?
Alright, so out for Hyperdrive. We're about halfway through this fight for Scud Bus. Alright, so this text box, this means Kefka is about to cast Connor on us. He's so nice, he tells us he's about to do it.
GG Scud Bus?
Yeah. No Goner, because Kefka's a Goner. GG's to Scud Bus.
Yeah.
And we'll, Sigil, I don't have my phone with me anymore, but will you see if Scud Bus wants to do an interview in the Discord, please?
Yeah. Yes. I'm on that right now.
Thank you, good sir.
Yeah.
get Scud Bus here in just a moment. Talk about talk about the seed, talk about the shenanigans that Sigil put him through with his seed that he rolled.
Yes.
Yeah,
GG, Scud Bus.
GG. Wow.
How do you like my seed rolling?
That is probably the worst seed I've ever played. I thought JP had me for sure because I don't think I've beat him once in Ultros League, so this is an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did a great job, Scud Bus, of persevering. You had that early Magic Master fight that sent you back in time a little more than you had liked. You had that Poltergeist thrown at you, but you didn't even wipe once. And then Tier 3 threw everything it had at you, but you made it through with all of your characters intact. So, what were your thoughts? What were you trying to do there when all that adversity was thrown at you? How were you trying to keep your head cool and just work through it?
I was just like, take it one battle at a time, and when I didn't die to Blue Dragon, I was like, okay, we're not dead. Let's just keep going.
That's all that matters.
Because I didn't save before Blue Dragon, so I think I would have gone back to Narsh again. I was just like, ah! Oh. What else was crazy that happened? Oh, so many things.
You wiped
Oh.
I think you wiped to Magimaster.
Yeah, the wipe to Magimaster was unfortunate.
Yes.
I should have reset it right away, but I was just like, oh, maybe it's early enough. Maybe he's not scary. Oh, no, he's definitely scary.
He's scary on all levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's never not scary. And then Mog facing Polty by himself, I was just like, oh, this is such a time waste. And I just felt behind the whole time, so I was just like, oh, thank God for locking the VK, gotta say.
Yeah, so just to catch you up on where JP is at, Scud Bus, he is now at the Poltergeist spot. He did quite a bit that you didn't do. He found Terror a lot sooner, and he went through the sealed gate. There wasn't much there. Well, there was a lot of elixirs there, but elixirs aren't really offense. So more than anything, game breaking there. And this Poltergeist has been giving him a handful of trouble, quite a bit of trouble. This is like attempt number 4, I think, for him on the Poltergeist.
I think it's attempt number 2.
Yeah, that Polty, he fallen one to me, he hyperdrived. Can't think, he was mean.
He pulled out a Grand Train, he flare started you a couple times with that Paladin shield. Really came in handy.
Yeah, that Paladin shield almost was worthless. Oh, and that moment where I put the ribbon on Locke instead of Mog, that was silly.
Yeah.
In Doma's dream, I think that happened. Yeah.
Now, your very first check that you did was Kefka at Narsh. After you had done some looting and did some of your required objectives. Why did you pick Kefka at Narsh for your first objective? Or first check?
Oh, well, with Mog, I was hoping to just do Lone Wolf, Kefka Narsh, and whatever, Mog Rescue, whatever it's called. So I like to do density, and that just felt the most density at the beginning. What did JP do first?
He found, so in Narsh, there are super bugs for sale just in the weapon shop, not the item shop. And he found those in the weapon shop, so he did some dragons first, and then eventually y'all came your way back across the same pass, but I think he went to Opera Dragon first, and then...
Yeah, he went Opera Dragon, and then Kef got Nosh.
Yeah, Opera Dragon,
okay.
Kefka checks, other Narsh checks, things like that.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah, this is Poltergeist is still giving JP the business here.
I guess, can I, like, watch the stream?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yes.
There we go, perfect. Okay. Ooh, liking the background tunes. He picked up VK though, right?
Yes.
Eventually, yes.
Okay.
He took the Bahamut first, just like you did, and eventually he
Yeah.
made his way back for the Diet Knife with Terra.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then I kept moving my XP egg around. I was like, Umaro first because was like, oh, let's make the like can't get better character better, and then I was like, let's just make Mog a super mage. I don't think I'll find Terra and get that VK, and then I found Terra and got that VK. I'm like, oh, straight on the lock. I assume he got the experience egg. I think that was Narsh Dragon.
Yeah, that was the Ice Dragon
Yes.
spot, which was the Blue Dragon. He found that a little sooner than you did. He just had another character that was in a different party than what is ending up facing the Poltergeist here. And he's hanging on though. He's had his lock
He's hanging
down
on.
a handful of times and just keeps coming back.
Oh, so he swapped Mog for Terra.
Yes, his party is
Yeah.
Terra, Lock, Go, and Yamaro.
Okay. Yeah, I almost did that, but I was like, no, got Terra too late. Can't do it.
Yeah, this Lock being low HP is a good thing for him. He just can't quite keep him alive.
Oh, yay, he did it!
And JP gets past Poltergeist, which he'll be making his way to Final Kafka now.
All right, so So all that stands between JP now is the same tiers that Scudbus went through. I think this should go pretty fast for him because he has his party put back together, and that Poltergeist was just, in an unfortunate spot for him. But now with everybody back, the Avengers can assemble, and he should be pretty good to go here.
While y'all are getting ready for final Kefka, mind if I jump in with a couple of donations?
Absolutely.
All right, so the first one is $50 from Gungadi, saying Yeti is the boss. Can we all acknowledge that Umaro is the best character as everyone kept him for both runs? Also, $20 from Just Chris that says DW2 princess name, Just Quinn.
All right, so JP is beginning his final Kefka fight. All the same tiers, all in the same order, all the same parts. What he will go through is what Scudbus went through.
Oh, he picked up Saban.
Yeah.
Saban was at the end of Seal Cave.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's 6,000 damage body slams. That's it's a lot for a body slam.
Yeah.
And
I wonder if he's going to bring Lock back up.
I think he will eventually. He's got access. Locke is the Sword Tech character, so that's where his Sword Tech 8 is for instant death. So maybe he's just trying to
Which, yeah.
get everything he's going to control first. Yeah, that's 7,000 damage or 7,000 HP Yumaro. That's a pretty impressive Yumaro we got here tonight. They've all been impressive.
All right, could I sneak in with a couple more donations, if I may?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
All right, so we've got $50 from Dragon Lady K that says, "Way to go, Moogles, and great job to our amazing comms today, Turdsman, Sigil, and Drinks Glue." And then $55 from Ale says, "Marathon hype. Let's finish off that Skyrim fishing incentive."
All right, so we're running over a little bit here. So we're going to cut away from the Worlds Collide stream, and we're going to start prepping for the next event. So we'll get that started here in just a moment for y'all.